I'm at Grace Church Road. I went to Waynesboro to bring this man down to this address. And now he's trying to force his way into a house. I'm afraid to move my vehicle. Just fighting in there.
It's inside the house now?
Yeah.
You have your doors locked?
It's open. I'm in a van.
You need to make yourself safe, okay? Even if you've got to drive away from there to get away from him and close that and lock that door. Do that for me now, please.
Okay, wait a minute.
Okay. Hey, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah. Hey. And everyone, thank you for joining us today. What is today? Wednesday?
Today's Wednesday.
Is it Wednesday? I think it's okay. Seriously, totally brain meltdown right there. I was like, ready? Yeah. Thanks, Lewis, for joining us again tonight.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Lewis.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
And
living the dream. Yeah.
Deb is at a soccer game for everyone that is wondering
Oh,
where
okay.
she is.
Yeah. Well, we kidnapped her, gagged her, put her in a dungeon. There's a clip in itself, a 16-second clip, isn't it? Anyways, so yeah. So today we're going to be letting Lewis mostly talk because again, this is more his forte. And actually, let's say just tell everyone what we're going to be talking about tonight to generalize it.
Well, a few things. We're going to talk about some technology and how things can actually be streamed without going through cell towers. And maybe you should explain a little bit about the difference between pinging and actually GPS through SMS, because I think there's a lot of confusion out there about how that works and how you can actually live stream back in 2016 and 2017 without having a whole bunch of expensive equipment. I mean, all you really need is a car and a phone. So we can go into a few of those things too.
Yeah, you know what? Whatever, YOLO, right?
Sure.
So, hey everyone. Let's see here. Hey everyone in chat. Thanks for joining us tonight. You guys know that I'm still trying to get over my flu thing and everything like that, but feeling a little bit better. Not that some people care. Some people care, right, Lewis? Right, Adam? Right, Kelly? Right, Peace? Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So so they concluded the search at the Wabash River. I think most people have seen that. So I'm going to show that video really quick. And yeah, so I think we'll start off with that first. Okay, guys? So so give me a sec and we're going to play that. So we'll be back in just a sec again.
Perfect.
Okay.
That the search is over, but the big question still looms. Is it connected to the murders of Abby and Libby in Delphi? ITMate's Richard Essex is on the case for us again tonight.
A spokesperson for the Indiana State Police told me that the search of the Wabash River has concluded. This is the first time the state police has actually acknowledged that they were searching, but they wouldn't say what they were looking for.
Anya Kane and Kevin Greenlee of the podcast Murder Sheet are following every development related to the murder of Libby German and Abby Williams. It is believed the exhaustive search of the Wabash River in Peru is related to that case. The search began August 19th. The same day, a court allowed Indiana State Police to take custody of Kagan Klein as suspect in the Anthony Schatz child porn case that is linked to the Delphi murders.
Obviously, Indiana State Police did not go on the record saying that, but we had sources who did tell us that it was Delphi related.
The progress of the search is marked by the team with poles and stakes driven into the river bottom. The lion's share of the search was conducted by hand. We did see a few people with metal detectors. Under the bridge, we did see a pile of metal and other objects collected by the team, but still No explanation from state police what they were looking for or if they found anything.
We feel the Indiana State Police, not just in the terms of this water search, but throughout the whole Delphi investigation, have poured almost unlimited amounts of resources into the case. And one of the things that got us interested in this case was we believe the Indiana State Police, like any other governmental agency, needs to be held accountable to the people of Indiana.
I reached out to Kagan Klein's lawyer with a number of questions concerning the search. He responded with, "Thank you for the email, Richard. I have no comment at this time."
As of today, police have not announced any arrests associated with the Delphi murders. Kagan Klein is due in court in late October on 30 child pornography charges. In Indianapolis, Richard Essex, Wish TV, iTeam 8.
Have you been to Saraga International Grocery lately? We're so much more than your average grocery store.
Sorry, there we go. Sorry, had to close. Let StreamYard do something there for a second. There we go. Okay. So, yeah. So, about 5 weeks it was that they were doing the search. It's now concluded. Concluded. What are your guys' thoughts about that in chat? And Adam, I was going to call you Deb Adam.
I could only be so lucky.
I know, right? And Lewis, what do you guys think about that coming to a conclusion now? Whichever one goes first.
Sure. Well, my thoughts are it's nice that they actually came forward and admitted that it was a search and not a unresponsive request from all media.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there's being tight-lipped and there's being tight-lipped. Obviously,
Yeah.
you can see what they're doing. They're there for weeks, every day, and denying that it's a search didn't make any sense, especially for the media.
Right.
Who just says all that told me was that ISP are their source.
Yeah.
Whoops. Absolutely. Okay.
I mean, I'd rather not to put down what everybody here does, but I'd rather the media get their source from ISP as opposed to podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah.
That way you know the information that everyone's listening to is real, because that's what causes all these rumors.
Yeah, I know. I know someone said to me that they were disappointed in a certain something in the know because to sit there and confirm something based on hearsay like that, especially something as important as that, like there was no arrest record. It was just, anyways, you know what? I'm still not going to knock it, to be honest with you. It is what it is. It stuff like that happens all the time, regardless of whether it's the true crime or not, right?
Right. I think what the fiasco that happened last week was mainly a repercussion of ISP staying so quiet. It just came ahead finally, and you've got people constantly jumping at the bit to get info, and they're grabbing every source they can find because they don't know what to believe.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of that guy's channel's name. He's an ex-cop, and shoot, it's just eluding me. He's a cop, and I can't think of his name. And he was doing a Delphi coverage, and all he basically said was, and I really just applauded his whole channel that day.
Oh, are you talking about Tom Spivey?
No, not at all. Tom Spivey's always with Wagner guy. I used to watch Wagner a little bit back in whatever, but no. No, I'm thinking about that cop. He's kind of a burly guy, and he has I think he worked on the same case that Tom Webster, the
Misty Beavers.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just having, no, it's none of those guys. Ken Maines. Ooh, maybe that's it. No, what's his channel called? Okay. can't think of it. Let me just say this though. My point is that I'm this way myself. I don't care what other channels are doing. Stay in their lane. I'll stay in my lane. What they do really has no impact on me. And if they want to, like I said, there's always the trolls, there's always the trashers, and there's always those really good people that follow that have more common sense in their heads. Yeah. But I really liked how he just basically said, like, when someone was trashing AWP, he's just like they brought answers to the family. They help bring out, and you guys, it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't, but just people just mind their own businesses. If people could just stop worrying about what other channels are doing and acting like that they have control. There's not one person in here that has control over this channel besides me and the agreement with YouTube. That's it, right? The platform, how it runs. But people want to keep inserting, how you should do things. If your intro should be this long or this, or if you should apologize for this or that. It's not your place to say. You can say what you want, but if it's ignorant or whatever, you'll get blocked, or I'll just whatever. It depends how the severity of the comment, to be honest, because people leave whatever. But anyways, it's nobody's place to tell each other channels what they should be putting on their channels. Just stay in your own darn lane and mind your own darn business, and life would be a lot better. But no, but I can't think of his name. It's just bugging me. Why on the defensive? Oh, see, so it's something like that. Why on the defensive? Because I wouldn't think that's on the defensive. It's just about people minding their own business. Why are you caring what I'm saying like that? That's not being on the defensive. I'm saying if people just mind their own business, then we wouldn't keep having all these issues. But people want to keep starting things. I don't care if In the Now said something, right? Like I said, that's their, and if they want to have the repercussions, right? If you want to have the repercussions, then they can have the repercussions. Simple as that. It's not my worry. The only thing that's the worry of this channel is this channel. That's it. So that's my point.
Wanting to control the narrative.
Yeah, like if someone doesn't like whatever this channel has to offer, don't watch it. Don't leech free information. Go watch somebody else that you want to leech free information from. But again, that's what this is. You're not paying for this information. There's people that are supporting the channel, become members because they love following this channel. They like me, Deb, and Adam, or maybe they just like Adam. Who doesn't matter? Doesn't matter. But I'm just saying, it's nobody else's place to tell all the other channels. If Murder Sheets wants to release stuff, we can have our opinions, but it's still their place to do whatever they want. It's their stuff. Do you know? That's all I'm trying to say. That's not being defensive.
Were you thinking of Cop Facts?
Who? No. It's somebody that I don't watch. But he did Delphi a while back, and he just did it recently, and it's oh my god, I can picture him. He's kind of like this burly cop guy, rough, like he looks like a biker kind of dude. And he has like a bunch of books or shelves behind him. And
was it me?
Yeah, obviously, Adam.
Oh, yeah, I think I know who you mean.
And
I'm drawing a blank on the name too, but I think I know who you mean.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank too on there. Okay, so anyways, just moving on for that. It's just that I really liked what he had to say. And simple as that. It was just about staying in your own lane, minding your own business. And then there would, like I said, worry about what you're doing, not what other people are doing. Get your own channel if you want to worry about other people's business so much. If you don't like what's being created out there, then go create something. That's not hard. Yeah. So, like I said, just here to do us. That's it. Be us.
Unsolved. Was it Unsolved No More?
Yes. No. Yes. Unsolved No More. I think
a couple people said it in the chat, so I'm not taking credit for that. I'm just reading what I saw.
Yeah, so it was Ken Main's cold case, Unsolved More. Thanks, guys, because I seen it said Ken Main, so I'm thinking that name rings the bell. But yeah, when I heard Unsolved No More, then that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. See, I'm Gray Hughes. All the power to the guy, really. Yeah, not my place. Either I watch him or I don't. Whether, it's not my place. Doesn't matter. So Tim Carville did a video with Tom. I don't know who Tim Carville is. I don't know who that is. Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's go back to what we were going to talk about. So the whole thing tonight is that we are going to talk about the crime scene and about, thank you guys. Unsolved No More. There. Shout out to that gentleman there, Ken Maines, because honestly, he said it perfectly. And I was just like applauding him the whole time he was talking about it. Yeah. And so, so basically the bottom line is that it's about the crime scene. And if it was perhaps live streamed, again, none of this information is factual. Even again, the pictures I'll show you again, they're you take everything with a grain of salt, right? I do the work for myself. And if somebody wants to go, oh yeah, like I see that, then fine, so be it. It's not factual. It's my work that I've done to try to bring some clarity. At the end of the day, I feel like that the crime scene was something that would show me some more answers to perhaps what happened to the girls or why they were murdered that day. And in the back of my head, it always sits as the same thing that what Robert Ives says, but it makes me kind of wonder if Robert Ives said then versus what he would say now are two different things, to be honest with you, because he said that the crime scene was basically meant to misdirect, but it's kind of like, as I look at it, I don't know the answer truly to that, but we've heard about, the possibility or that, of a murder tape, of the different things that are at the crime scene. And so, so for instance, I want to say this as well. And so EMR, there's a part of me that might agree with you, or it's gone through my head tonight as well, or not even tonight, the other night. And I was thinking, there's part of me that thinks, like, the different angles. Like, was Libby such a pain that, remember how he made those comments about Libby? Like, oh, you mean the annoying one? So it just kind of makes me think, was that the reason? Is it not? Like, I'm always looking to see if there's a different angle in there as more information comes out. Right. Is it the revenge? Is it a different angle? I don't know for sure. I can just look at what's presented in front of me. So I want to show a couple pictures first, Lewis.
Yeah.
Before we get into you talking, because sure. I just need to close off something.
Right. Hey, Miss Thing.
Sorry, it's just going to take me a second. If you guys want to say hellos or...
You're right. Journey said Kiki can't tell the truth. That's for sure.
Oh, so yeah. Hey, Steve, how are you? So one thing, me and Steve are having a little bit of a conversation in email. And so EMR actually was the one that kind of got me rethinking about this. So always the information for the crime scene, which we know was on, so what is it, RTV6, I believe it was, had their video. And but of course they didn't know they were looking for two murdered girls at the time. So the helicopters are flying over, they're zooming in, they're looking at the different spots or whatever. And then later on, that's a section of the video was cut out. Because you seen a spot, a flash of light. Then it was kind of like everyone knew then that was where the crime scene was, and because obviously. And but anyways, so I wanted to take the photos that I took from, say, Devil's Hop Yard, and from Delphi Confidential, moved over to there, and I just wanted to do it myself. And EMR had sent me a picture, of basically, like kind of like what I've done too. So I sat there and I take my birth shots myself, right, from the helicopter advantage, did it myself, brought them into the program to see what I could get. And it's there, but you have to know what you're looking for. And you have to, you literally have to know what you're looking for. Because if you see on where the searchers are looking in the water, and even though, say, if I said this side, because I'm thinking about it going this way. So if you see the searchers in the water and you go about 50 feet in and you see those trees and you see where it looks like the pancake, I call it the pancake man, is holding on to the tree. That's where the crime scene is. So because I already know that, I can at least look through my pictures and look exactly for those two trees where it looks like the pancake man's holding it. So I just started from scratch to see what I could do.
What is a pancake man?
Well, I call it the pancake man because anyone that's ever looked at the video, you see what looks like some sort of flat-faced pancake man holding a tree, like a stick man. But because it's coming at this angle, all you see is this kind of like this big round thing that looks like a face and a body holding this tree. So I call it myself visually the pancake man. When really it's like trees and whatever objects were placed there in there. So I wanted to do it myself, right? Like meaning Delphi Confidential and that, like he was snap in the photos and blah, 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 blah. But if you actually see where the searchers are to where the crime scene is, like I said, you can easily follow it. But again, most people don't do what I do. Most people don't put that type of depth into what I'm talking about. Most people would sit there with their eyes, all Googled up going, what the heck am I looking for? But again, that's just after 2 years, spending a lot of time looking at something. So anyways, that's where that came from, Steve. So it's kind of like when I keep zooming into something, that's my work. Doesn't matter if anyone doesn't want to believe it or understand it. Doesn't matter. Point is, I'm just trying to show you, but yet really the knowledge still is for me to understand why the girls were murdered that day. That source images are not altered. The crime scene is right at the black, white. What did Rockaway say? It's important to verify that the source images are not altered. Well, it's actually all helicopter footage, yeah. But you know what? At the end of the day, look at my thing is this, and I'm going to say this again. I'm not a police officer. I don't think like a police officer. I think like Sunny. I do what Sunny does best. Steve thinks like a police officer. CD thinks like a police officer. Fax thinks like a police officer. They have their own certain obligations because that's what their job entails. I don't owe anything to anyone but myself, and to provide the information as best as I can with as much integrity and work that I can. That's my job for me.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of one of those things, right? That's why this isn't factual. It's my work. And if somebody else wants to go take pictures from the helicopter and do it themselves and do their own work, that they of course can, because then that becomes theirs to own. Just like my work becomes mine to own, because I'm just trying to find or understand the reasons for why those girls were murdered. What happened that day? What was at that crime scene that either they were trying to misdirect or what truly happened? And again, so that's why I spend a lot of time, and I didn't before. I mostly just spent it on the BG's face and certain things. Then after 7 months, I kind of gave up, got tired of it. But then I've gone back to it to try to understand what else I can pick out from the crime scene. And so that's why I'm just going to bring up some pictures, a few pictures to show. And let's see. I'll take this one. One sec, guys. So I'll take this one, this one. Oops, it looks like I forgot to bring one in. Don't want to show that. I want to show that, and that. And I want to show that. And I forgot to send one in. Open. Yeah, so if can you guys do me a favor, Lewis and Adam? Can you guys just quickly look into chat and just, I don't care, just see what people are saying. I'm just not on that screen. I just want to bring something else back in. Just to make sense. I just want to see where that picture did go. Oh,
do you see anything there you want to answer, Lewis?
I just turned it on. Take a peek and we'll see.
Okay. I will say really quickly, while Sunny's doing that, of course, our hearts go out to everyone in Florida. It's getting kind of pummeled right now by the hurricane. So if you are in the path of the hurricane, stay safe. And hopefully everyone that is there has power and is safe and dries out quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Deb's parents are over there, so prayers to her parents. She said something about 145 mile an hour wind at the time.
Right. I know Sharon is in Florida, I believe.
Yeah. So prayers to everyone. I know as a kid growing up, I would hear of Florida all the time from Canada here. And I remember going, I'm never going to live there ever. Because it just seemed like Florida was like this hot spot for all these wicked, whatever you guys call them, tornadoes. What do they get? Like hurricanes? Yeah. Do they get cyclone things too? Or is that something totally different? I don't know all the differences between them, to be honest with you.
Put me on the spot. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Well, the thing is that the first time I remember even something happening in Canada myself was back in like 1990 something in Edmonton, Alberta. And there was an earthquake that kind of wiped out a trailer court. And that's the first time I'm like, what the heck? This doesn't happen in Canada. Like, what's going on here? So it's very rare for something like that to happen in Canada. And so, yeah, so when I hear of that stuff, it was always Florida. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm never going there. Maybe to frickin' Disney World, but that's about it. Yeah. Okay, so I sent myself that. 1 sec there.
Yeah, I'll see. I think it might. I think it will go out into sea and probably come back up and hit Georgia and the Carolinas. I think we're supposed to get it Saturday, like Friday night, Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So are the winds supposed to die down by that point?
Yeah. Like it won't be. It won't even be. I don't think it'll be anything like. Well, I'm in Charlotte, so I'm 2.5 hours inland. So I mean, it would most likely be anything like tropical depression winds or anything, if that. Yeah. But we are supposed to get like 4 to 6 inches of rain.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys can enjoy that.
Well, that's a lot of water.
Yeah. Sorry, it's just like some of the pictures I sent myself just obviously didn't make it through when I sent them through the first time. So that's what's taken me a moment here. I thought they all went to my messenger, but apparently not. I'm looking for one specific one.
Yeah, Deb is at a soccer game tonight.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. I don't know if I feel like looking for it. I deleted 1,000 pictures yesterday, people, and that still didn't leave me much room on my iPad. It still wants to keep crashing.
Oh, thank you, Lisa.
What'd Lisa say?
That I look extra handsome today. I feel like I can fall asleep in like 5 seconds. So
yeah. I'm pretty sure that Remy said he liked my hair. What about Lewis? Did anybody say anything about Lewis?
Callie asked if Lewis is in a toll booth.
No. Well, that's the best compliment of the night. Was it a troll booth, Kelly, or a troll booth?
Yeah, probably a troll booth, huh?
Yeah.
If we see him reach over and take someone's ticket and hand them a ticket back, then
Okay. You know what? I'm not even going to bother to look for that one again. That one doesn't matter. It's not overly important to me enough. Oh, did I download this one?
Way to be prepared there, Sonny.
I look my. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm just like, I thought I sent these to myself already. Apparently not. So I'm just bringing them in. Yeah, I know. I was sleeping more than anything, just because it's like I didn't go to bed till 7 a.m. this morning. So
I saw that message. I was like, what was she up doing?
I know, and then I woke up at 9 thinking I had slept forever. Then I was up for a few hours again. Then I was trying to get
I got up and it was like 20 minutes after you sent it, and I was like, well, I probably shouldn't message her back now because you probably just fallen asleep. And I was up for the morning.
All right. So hold on. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull it up now, actually. So we'll share my screen quickly, and okay, so we'll share this one, for instance. Let's go to this one right here first, actually. So obviously you can see gone but not forgotten, because this is obviously a victim that's in front of you here. Again, my work from the crime scene. Okay. So wait, can you guys see it? Okay, let me take us off the screen. So basically, when I was, like I said, doing my own pictures or whatever, I was going, oh, okay, let me see what I can find. So as I was doing it, and you guys know that I've showed you cameras and different things and blah, 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 blah. So what then I noticed was what I deem as this cat stuffed animal that's staring at said victim. And that up and down thing obviously is the knife. And so I was like, I couldn't help but think, okay? I couldn't help but think, not to say it's factual again. I couldn't help but think of catfishing. Like, was there the meaning behind each of these things? Like, there's the bunny, there's the headphones, cameras, all these different things that I keep coming across. And that's only because I've spent a lot more time on the actual other things recently. Just because, again, I'm just trying to see, like, the shoes that the BG's wear, and I can make out some certain things on it. Now I just got to match it. So let me go back over here. Okay. So I'm showing it in a couple of lights because, again, I'm not distorting the image in the sense, like, I'm not using anything to manipulate the actual image in a sense. I'm just taking what I'm getting, I'm zooming in, I'm bringing it closer. It's so different than when I show you guys moles or whatever. All I'm doing is taking somebody's face, zooming in, you know, and the best that you can, and trying to show it in a light that you have to change colors in order to bring it to some sort of perspective. Because if I showed you what the actual picture looked like, you would just be like, yeah, I see trees and bush and I don't see anything else. So you have to do it. It's the only way to even understand, you know, anything about the crime scene, let alone get pictures from the crime scene, like, to do the work. And that's kind of why when you guys look at Delphi Confidential, the what they deem as the crime scene video, that's why he plays with the coloring, because in natural state, you wouldn't make out nothing. I wouldn't make out nothing besides knowing that I can see a couple things that's where the crime scene occurred, right? So this one's to show you, like, so obviously victim here, and the knife is there. And so the kitty cat is right this. And so when I play with it more even, okay, and I showed it in this light as well, just so I can show you. So what I'm going to show you in a second is, so to me, this is pretty much this, you know, it's pretty much a little kitty cat that looks like this. So if I kind of go back and forth, it's something that looks like that. not say it's that one, but just something that looks like this, because you can see like a little tail, but obviously it's blacked out here, so it's not giving me the full picture. But right here, and let me go into this picture here. Okay. So right here on this kitty cat forehead, you can see that, to me, that there is like a collar, some sort of collar that's going right around here. And this collar is going around like the top of the head. What kind of collar would you call that? Like a freaking, I don't know. I think of it as a gag collar or something. But so anyways, right here where the lines are, that's some sort of collar. There's a strap going around the top of the head of the kitty and to the side of each one. But then there's this little trinket, this little emblem, and this little trinket. Again, I've only manipulated the coloring just so you guys can see it a little bit better if I do this. So meaning here, it's sorry. I show you it. I'm getting a sorry, I'm not playing too well with my thing. Okay, so it's still the same color as this thing, but I had to show you it like this just to give you an idea of what this is. And again, it pretty much looks like the similar object, but I can't say for sure. But I wanted to give you an idea exactly of what I'm talking about. So although you guys can't see it, and this might be the same one, it might not be. If I really was zooming in, looking at my pictures, I can see in different pictures that I have that there's like a little bit of a chain thing going on right over in this area. So who knows? All I know is that it really struck me as odd that catfishing, and then I see what I deem as this cat. So if anyone else sees it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. You can come back and look at it if you like. And then I'm going to go back over here. Okay. So remember, this is one of the cameras that we basically, we're in front of the bunny rabbit. And this is, again, the same camera over here. This is the bunny rabbit part here. This is the bladed object, that's here. I would find it funny. Let me put it this way. I would find it pretty funny that the footage that's taken from a crime scene, that I can get an image whatsoever of, like, let me just say that this footage was from, Oklahoma, type of thing. But yet I'm looking into Delphi, and somehow I managed to come across, these peculiar things in the wood. So this would make sense to me based on anything that's been put out there about Delphi. That's why, for me, I absolutely believe this is the crime scene photos. And like I said, I went back myself and snapped the shots just to see if I could achieve what Devil's Hop Yard did and whatever. So it's up to you just to take it however you like. Again, little skull type of idea. And on here, this one, you guys, this is on the Big G shoulder. What would we deem this as, actually, Lewis? It was like a camera that's on his shoulder, but it has some sort of, this is like a cube. Like, you can see that it's like having a charging cube or whatever you want to say. I don't know. It's trying to take the best images out of a bad situation and trying to bring to light what happened to Abby and Libby that day. And thinking about the fact that they were looking for, knives, and they were looking, they were going and asking about, videotapes or video cameras bought, and based on what Garret Kirts says and all stuff like that, I just kind of wonder if Ives, when he said that it was to misdirect, I don't know, because the cat would make sense for catfishing, having cameras all over the place. So I don't know. There's still more things. I don't know what's out there on the ground. I can see different things, but I can't make them out good enough. there's even another camera that I didn't show today because um, it's not in what I deem as ready format. You know, it looks pretty good. You guys could probably understand it's a camera, but I need to also go back to my pictures and go back to the original to show you, like, okay, so this is the ground of where the crime scene is, and this is where that camera would sit in conjunction with, um, say, victim's body and the other one. Because if I was to just say it really, it would probably be just off to the right, about this area here, um, looking, basically at, victim's body. So that's all I really wanted to show for the pictures tonight. Anyone that, like I said, I've shown a lot of pictures recently. And whoops, I don't like that. Well, how did we get there? There we go. So it's just really up to Tom Parker. Do you think it's, well, pareidolia? I would have to, I have to be an idiot, to be honest, for it to be pareidolia. I understand pareidolia. So people can think what they want. Doesn't matter to me. If someone wants to think it's pareidolia, because I understand that, because pareidolia, again, you would have to really understand the work and do it yourself. Because when I start thinking that I'm seeing pareidolia stuff too, then I myself go back, because I'm thinking, okay, am I seeing something that's not there? Because there is. Things can easily, the pixelation can easily turn into what looks like something. I'm pretty sure, like, when I'm looking at a camera that's visible, that's not pareidolia. Pareidolia to me is, it's when somebody's, looking at something like, bunch of trees and leaves, and then all of a sudden, out of that, they come across a little green man that's sitting in those trees and leaves, because that they're looking for, some sort of figure, because they see a little bit of blue tinge in there and stuff like that. So I'm very much aware of the pareidolia. Trust me, because again, I have to always pull myself back. So it just really becomes a matter of, to my own credibility of what I'm showing, I have to stand behind my work, or else I'll look like an idiot, So if I'm wrong about my work, I'll come back and tell you I was wrong about something. So yeah, the bunny is there for real. Absolutely. I sent myself the bunny picture, but that's what I was looking for, actually, just to show you again. And that bunny is not little. That to me reminds me of like a circus bunny. It reminds me of, not quite the size, like if you guys ever look at Peggy Garth's Facebook page, and there's a big bunny head, someone in a big bunny costume. It's not like a full-size bunny costume like that, or at least from visually looking at it, but it is what I would deem, if you deem a face mask about being this big, if you put it on at Halloween, and then that's pretty much right near the bunny, and then you kind of take how many face masks and build it up. To me, that seems like one of those stuffed animals that you would win the big size, the extra large size at a circus event, like that type of size. I don't know. Anyways, enough about those. Lewis, let's get into your talk. And sure. Yeah.
I guess maybe we should touch on what bothers me a lot is bringing up whether a phone pings or there's GPS coordinates, and people come up with these terms because they hear them. And the same thing with burner phones. And then that'll actually get into what's needed in order to do the streaming, if that's something that happened. But in 2016-17, you probably had 3 different ways to do a phone location, and you've got 2 categories. You've got newer style GPS-enabled phones, and then you've got older style analog, which would be like the earlier flip phones and some of the first non-flips. And then you've got early digital that don't do GPS coordinates. And those would all be phones that came out before the 911 system in the United States. That's what people are probably not aware of. In the United States with 911, they made it mandatory where you had to have some sort of GPS location. So if you called 911 from a cell phone, they could actually figure out where the call came from and find out where the emergency was.
Right.
And what they started doing with the newer phones, let's say that the phone is newer, or if it's an earlier GPS enabled flip phone, it sends the coordinates through what they call SMS, which is where your text messaging goes through. So if they want the locations of the phone, it's not from a ping, it's not from triangulation, because a ping requires input from the telephone company. If they're going to ping your phone, they send a signal out, and that signal comes out like sonar, like a bat. And what they do is they count how long it takes that signal to come back, and that's how they triangulate. And let's say you've got 3 towers. You draw a triangle, and then you figure out the center of that triangle, and then each tower counts how back the signal response is. And then they could figure out if it's a weak tower or a strong tower, and that's why they say it's not perfect. It could be within 100 feet, 200 feet, but that's how they get a ping triangulation. Now, like I mentioned with Ron Logan's phone, which we all know he had a flip phone. I don't know if it was a newer style or an older style, but if they had GPS coordinates, that's not from a ping. They said he sent a text message. So my assumption would be he had a newer style flip phone that was GPS enabled, which means when SMS sends GPS coordinates through 911, it also does that packet information when you send a text. So if he sent a text or received a text, most likely they've got the location of where the phone was when the text took place. Not a ping and not triangulation. Whether it was 2 towers or 3 towers, and how do you figure out the response speed? You don't need to know that. If you want a GPS location with a text, that's the way they send that with 911. So that's just to clear that up, because I know there's so many people that have a difference of opinion on whether they have info or not. I can't see them having ping locate coordinates for his phone. If he sent a text, most likely that's where it came from. So that solved it in my head. Did we lose her?
No, me? No.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm just
I didn't see on the screen anymore. I want to make sure you didn't drop off.
No. I'm here. I'm pressed.
So now, if we get down towards this other possibility, was something set up and staged in advance where they were going to send out video. Now, everyone says, well, if that happened, they'd know exactly where it was and whose phone it was. And that's because everyone's thinking technology right now. They're not thinking back in 15, 16, 17. There was new technology back then that made it where you didn't have to actually use cell towers to send information through the phones. Actually, it was separate on your phones. Internet was separate from your cell signal. And that's why a lot of these cell phone companies that have boosters would boost your cell reception by taking your cell signal, not going through the towers, and sending it through internet that you have in your house. Now, back in 2016, I think I sent a list to you, Sonny, but I think you had about 8 or 9 auto manufacturers that had wireless Wi-Fi in their vehicles. And for people that would say, well, how does that work with a vehicle? It's now either using towers supplied by the cell manufacturer at the time that supplied the service to the auto manufacturer, or it was done through satellite. And you've got a bigger antenna on the car. You've got way more power because the FCC doesn't regulate the power output of a car as it does a cell phone because of issues with the phone being too close to your brain. So you can have 2 or 3 watts in a car instead of like 0.2 or 0.3 watts. So now the power is going to put that signal a lot further out. It doesn't have to just hit those 2 local towers. So now if you're doing live streaming in 16 and 17, live streaming was an option on your cell plan for your vehicle. If you had OnStar as an example, that was in the different packages. I think the $20 package and up from there, or if you had the same service provider, you could add it for $10 a month. But that gave you high-speed streaming capability right from your car. If you didn't have cell service to piggyback, then you could do that through the plan that came with the vehicle. Now, people then say, how do you trace that? Well, you've got different things like a VPN. or you've got the ability to change the IP address. I mean, the way people that watch videos from different countries where we're not allowed to receive signals from there, people can do that by just changing the IP address by using a simulator. There's all different types of software to do that too. So a VPN is probably something that most people have heard of before.
Right.
So the simplest thing to do a comparison with. Another nice thing with a VPN is if you're using an outside company for the VPN, you've now got multiple sources of internet. So you're not just using that one signal. It's being sent out through maybe 5, 6, 7 different signals. So now the speed is amazingly fast.
Louis, can I ask you, the VPNs that we have like in 2022, are they different than like the VPNs that they had in like 2016, 2017? Has there been advancement in that technology?
You've got more companies that offer it now. The technology is a little bit different now, but back then the ability to use it was there. There weren't as many providers for it, so a lot of people, if they did it on their own, or they went through a small company to do that. But to do a VPN back then was definitely more mainstream than it was a few years before that.
Okay.
It wasn't something that was just the computer guy in his basement that had a VPN set up, back in 2006, 2007. But we're talking 2016, 17. You're already into the 5G with cell phones by then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Louis, just for Who Dis, because I know Who Dis, we've had this discussion in our own private chat. She says they wouldn't know necessarily who the devices belong to, but they would be able to track the signal that the device used to transmit the video as long as they have the device.
No, because if you're using a different IP address, an IP address simulator, they're not going to trace it back to that phone. That's why a lot of you see in the movies where people get kidnapped, and the kidnapper's using a phone, and they can't trace where the signal's coming from because they say he's running it through Russia and then to Canada and then back to Japan and then back to the United States. That's not just made up out of thin air. That's something that they can do. And if the IP address on the device is blocked or using emulator, there's no way they're going to know what the device is, even if they find the device. That brings up the other thing too, that to correlate with that, everyone says burner phone. Most devices used with Keegan Klein were not burner phones. They weren't phones through a pay-as-you-go service. They were older devices being used on a Wi-Fi network. Now, you could take a device like that, use it on Wi-Fi, block the IP address of the phone, and nobody knows whose device that was. Now, the device, if it's not cleared properly, will show what was being done with it. But, like Sonny, we talked the other day, that one browser that they said was taken off of that phone that he turned in last, that has a private mode. And depending on what version you're using and how you use the private mode on it, a lot of that stuff is blocked. Now, I don't think that he was smart enough to use equipment like we're speaking about or apps to put on there, because I think he would have wiped the phone better than he did. They wouldn't have had the history of things being deleted and reinstalled like they did. And they would not know what device it was that anything was sent from. But if something like this was done and he was involved, there would be somebody above him that was actually in charge of doing this. If they orchestrated the murder to be filmed and sold and live streamed to make money for profit, or even to be put onto a different device or sent to a cloud, I don't think anyone in his circle of friends is at that level. This would be from somebody online that he dealt with through the other crimes he was committing that said, oh, wait, we've got somebody. He's a good scapegoat. He's got the ability to lure people in, and then they'd come forward with what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And yeah, Tom Parker, feel free to come on and join us tonight to tell us all about how the crime went down, since obviously you're so much more aware of exactly. Do you have a channel, Tom Parker? I just want to know if we are nowhere close to anything at all, because we're, Twiddle Dee, Twiddle Dum, and Twiddle Dumber. Please do give us all your knowledge. We look forward to hearing it. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Again,
now,
if you're...
I think somebody had asked, earlier in that question was about being able to track the device if he had it. let's say you didn't use a VPN, you weren't at that level back then. You could have what they call a domain name system, a DNS. It translates the URL made of words into numbers, and that mimics the IP address. So now all of a sudden the IP address is whatever you've created. It's not the IP address of your phone. There were a lot of free apps back in 2016 where you could watch movies, and a lot of them came from out of the United States. And in order to put those onto your phone, they started blocking the IP address depending on whether it said it was from the United States or not. So you could use one of these and actually change the IP address to say that you were in a different country. And then you could download that video that's in the movie theaters and watch it for free.
I had that on, like, what was it, on my Amazon Fire Stick back then? It was like the Cody or whatever it was called.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so it's not like super secret information that nobody had. So the average Joe that was a little bit sharper than anyone else, or had a friend that knew what they were doing, or actually went online and Googled a little deeper into it, they could do what they wanted to do without having much education or training in that as background. And then, like I said, there were companies that came out later, even back then they existed, that did that for you. I think, I'm trying to remember, I think Stream Locator was one of them, but they would geospoof. And what geospoofing is very similar to changing the IP address. It spoofs the tower or the satellite into thinking that you're in a different location.
Yeah, 1 second. Thank you, guys. Again, this takes a lot of work. So I appreciate the fact of you guys sticking up and saying stuff like that, because again, this isn't a game at all to any of us. Well, some people it is, obviously, but it's not a game. It's trying to show you the stuff that's out there and doing the best that we can. No, I'm not claiming it's fact, but again, I don't know why people always want to, like you said, if Tom, if you have such great knowledge about everything, because I try to stick with the course of the line and bring out what makes sense. No, not that we know of. Deb's at a soccer game, but anyways, go ahead.
Lou.
Lou.
Yeah. So
now you want me to call you Lou?
Yeah, whatever works. But and maybe because I can't see his comments, but maybe referencing what he's bringing up is, I think the goal is to rule things out, and you can't rule them out if you don't bring them up and talk about them. So if you bring up a point of something that's possible, and you bring out all the different ways that could actually play out in a scenario, and then somebody else can actually shoot those up, those points down with proof. Now all of a sudden we've come one step closer, because it's okay to be wrong, but you can't rule out being wrong until somebody else proves it wrong with facts. And you can't do that unless you bring up these things and prove them right or wrong. I think we have a better chance of proving things wrong than we do right, because there's so much information we don't have.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to say that because this is a conversation I was having with someone yesterday. I'm not going to say who that person is, but this person knows exactly who I'm talking to, and maybe she might be watching the live right now. Basically, it's about the POI, and I said, "Look, let me show you what I have, and maybe you can answer some things for me or send me things so that I can look at it to disprove, because it's the whole point is it's to include or exclude at the end of the day. So show me what you got. I'll look at all that, see if the information, my information changes at all. Because again, I have no problem ever admitting if I'm wrong, if I put something out wrong, said something wrong, perhaps, but yeah, so I am absolutely for that. So show me something, but put some facts behind it, right? And same thing. So that was exactly the conversation I was having. And so that's exactly what we're doing is I'm giving over information. This person's giving over information. And so that way it can be looked at, and again, from another angle just to see, Go ahead.
Just to back up what you're saying there, I don't think Ron Logan had anything to do with this, but I'm just putting proof together right now that if they've got GPS coordinates, it would be from him texting. So when they say there's a text at a certain time, so I'm hurting my hypothesis by giving you proof that whatever they have has to be concrete from a text, because SMS is the only way text messages go through. It's not through data through the towers. And so that backs up, if they know where he was at that time with a text message, that doesn't help me saying I know he's not responsible, but no one's putting that proof out there with an explanation yet. That's why I feel that needs to be out there. That way the people that do think that's it understand where it comes from.
100% Yvonne.
Didn't you leave a comment the other day, Mr. McLiptard? I don't know if this person's a troll or actually believes that Ron Logan is the BGNA. You know what? All the power to you, dude. You know, and when pigs fly across the air, I'll believe that. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. You know, but I
mean, there's some circumstantial stuff out there that really does not put him in a good light. But
of course,
yeah,
a lot of that stuff I think would not be there if he was responsible, because I think he would be a little sharper than that to not do the things that make him look responsible.
Right. Again, I agree with Kristen 100%.
Kristen, let's see. You're right. This isn't a contest about whose POI is BG or responsible. Does not make this case about you. It's about justice for Libby and Abby. Period. Absolutely. Again, for my BG, you know, it doesn't matter. I want the people, just like Kristen saying and everybody else, right? The people that aren't the trolls, but whatever, that literally want the justice for Abby and Libby. That's it. That's why when that rumor happened, again, I'm not so pissed off about it, to be honest, because it just shows me how many people cared to come together, and everyone was just on edge, even though it didn't sound likely. That, you know what I mean? Things kind of usually go in a certain way, and it just seemed like, but there was all this buzz going on, and we're like, wait, what? You know,
Lewis,
I mean,
I'm sorry, Sonny.
No, go ahead.
I would say, someone said in the chat that text messages do use data. I'm assuming that's in reference to something you said.
Back then, there was a separation. There was two separate networks. They're using data, but they're not using the cell phone. They go through what they call SMS. SMS is a different way of sending packet information from the phone out and back in. On newer phones now, if you notice, you've got the ability when you're making a call, you can actually make the call through SMS, and that way it sort of combines it to that way you can receive text while you're on the phone. But if you remember back then, there was a lot of phones where you could do one or the other, and you couldn't receive a text if you were on the phone. And then later phones had the ability to do both, and that's because they're not sharing the cell network. If that makes any sense without getting too in detail, because I don't want to confuse people.
Was that the same for iPhones and other phones? Because I feel like my iPhone could get text messages while I was on the phone.
iPhones are sending out even a separate channel. Then that's how they work too. It's a little bit different, but the same thing. You're receiving one while you're using the phone, and on the older phones, when you were actually using a phone call and it was locked into that tower, you weren't going to receive a text message until they had that separate way of separating it later on. Yeah. You'd get off your phone and then the text would come through.
Just going to pause for a sec.
Yeah.
Tom Parker, I'm going to help you out the door. Do you want me to do it, or do you want Cloudbot? Obviously, you don't belong in this live. Obviously. You know what? I want to say this. Tom Parker, you're a loser. And you know why you're a loser? Because people that hide behind fake accounts are losers. That sit there and have to try to email me or sit there and say stuff like that. Go find yourself a life. Have a good day, Tom Parker. And yeah, so I just love those people, you know?
So you're not denying it, Sonny?
No, you know what?
So you're not going to deny the claim?
You know what? I mean, I feel like I kind of... Actually, I better not say it. You know, wife Lilith is in this chat right now, and she's just looking for an angle, you know. I think wife Lilith is possibly the BG. Possibly. It's just an assumption out there. Like she has like that manly face and those manly nails that could go with that. You know, put that on a 16-second clip there, Lilith. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, but thank you, Tom Parker. We don't appreciate anything that you had to say, really.
And not to be stuck on the fact that it had to be a phone, it could have been something other than the phone, a mobile broadband device, a Wi-Fi card that's not using the mobile phone network. There's so many different ways that anybody could stream something live and not actually have it show up through a carrier. That's really the big point of this, is the fact that there's ways to make this untraceable if it was sent that way, or not even untraceable, but where they don't even know where to look because it's not something they're aware of is happening at that time. They can go back and check cell records for that time frame right there, but they're not able to go check and was it sent through broadband? Was it sent this way or that? That's not something they're going to see. They're not going to request the cell communication records from every auto manufacturer and then go to OnStar and ask for a list of every person that had an OnStar vehicle that was logged in. And then there's networks where you've got multiple devices logged in. And how do you put that back to an IP address that the IP says it's in a different country or a different state? So for them to work backwards, in order to get a warrant to do that, they need specific information. And this is something that could have been streamed, and they would have no way to even get a warrant to ask for the information.
Just Steve, I'm just going to put that out there. It's a good thing, isn't it? See what Steve said?
No.
He said, I didn't realize until now that Mrs. Steve has a little sister named Sunny. Same attitude. I don't know about the attitude thing, because this is just a bowl of sunshine right here until you piss me off. No. I can have a good laugh for sure, but you want to piss in my cornflakes? Come at me. I'm ready. I got my claws.
Cloudy injustice.
I know, cloudy injustice. So whatever. You just gotta, like I said, roll with the punches of things and whatever. That there's a lot of tards out there and there's a lot of great people as well. So anyways, go on with your bad self. I used to use a VPN and all that stuff back in the day. Yeah. Oh yeah. When you couldn't really trace anything back in the day because there was no site or nothing.
Exactly.
The stuff that I could do. And like I said, in the deep web, they go through different layers, like an onion, like they say, right? Like I have VPNs and I can sit there and pretend like I'm in the United States, and mine's probably more easier trackable and stuff like that. But you remember that movie, you guys, about the cats? The guy that started off killing cats? And it was through
I haven't watched it, but yeah, I've read on that.
Yeah. But, the thing is that, like I said, it's kind of like even that the guy that was in the Facebook group, whatever his name was, I always forget. But anyway, how he modified the video of the BG, and he put the nose and the mouth back into alignment. Instead of it being like way over here, he just put it back into alignment. He showed his calculations, exactly what he did. But he said that they couldn't do that back in 2017. And it was only with later technology now that he was able to do that.
Yeah.
To give a better structure of the face in a sense. So again, take it with a grain of salt. We're here for a reason and the purpose, and that's justice for Abby and Libby. And however we get there, doesn't matter as long as we get there. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Peace. I make shit hard. Yeah, because I remember I didn't block you the other day. I think I left your stupid comment up, to be honest with you. Yeah. Have a good day, McLips, hard, whatever. Yeah. You know what? I'm sure there's plenty of channels that I could recommend for you. Why don't you go find those ones? Have a good day. Thank you for stopping by. Let me just go find them, to be honest with you. Oops, I got to click off of it. There you go. Block user. Oh, that hurt my heart so bad. Can I show what? Wait. Can I show what? What? I don't even know. I know lip tarded again. Go ahead. I'm not sure what you want me to show, Yvonne. You want me to show my striking smile? I'm just doing the GQ look right now. Oh no, it looks like Lewis is doing it for me.
You're making me laugh.
The BG? Okay, go on. As in my POI or the actual BG? Like the BG from the video? Well, let me know and we'll let Lewis do his stuff first. Fair enough. Cool. Oh, I understand why you started out on the defensive trolls. Yeah. Double rainbows. If anyone knows by now, right? I've spent 2 years, and most people, just getting attacked by useless people and stuff like that for no good reason. And it really got annoying. And that's where the defense mechanisms come up with it. I just don't put up with shit anymore. I'm here for a purpose. The purpose is Abby and Libby. The purpose is to help others, bring awareness. That's the purpose. Anyone that tries to sidetrack me from that can kiss my butt, basically, because I'm just not here for that. I'm not here to play games with people. And the most laughable thing to me is when people make these fake accounts, send me emails from fake emails because they got no lives, they got nothing better to do, besides sit there and pay attention, like that Facebook group, Delphi Karma. What a shit group to go with your shit people that are in it. What can I say? I know. Well, because it's why? Because these people are actually taking away, like a Delphi Karma group or whatever. You are literally doing harm. You guys are literally distracting people by trying to get people to join your pathetic group just so that you can sit there and try to put out, oh, this person's saying something about Becky, this person's saying something about, and you guys, the people that are in it, just trash. So, yes. Don't want the sorry, but trash is trash. If you guys have no lives besides to sit there and worry about stuff like that, enjoy it. It just shows who's the bigger, losers are here. Like, seriously, we're here to try to help people, right? Like, not just this channel, other channels too. Go get yourself a life, go get yourself a toy, do something useful. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay.
You know what you need to bring up here, Sonny? Is to look at your lives and everything you put out, and the people that you have on that disagree with your POI.
Yeah.
And that never comes into discussion on your channel. Mm-hmm. People come on here so more information gets put out that people either think is true or they can back up, and nobody's cutting down the other person. No, you're not on here 24/7 blaring, this is who it is, and that's why I believe it. No. You'll do your live, you'll have people on, you'll get their opinions, you'll find out what they think. Maybe they analyze something that you think is right or wrong, and that's what you guys go back and forth with. It's not a who's right, who's wrong show. It's a let's get all the information out because something is going to cross.
It's not a who's right, who's wrong. It's my thing is this. Don't come on here, though, and then tell me how to run the show. Don't tell me what I should think. You can think what you want. I'll think what I want. I'm not going to take away from you. But if you're a troll and you say it like what that one guy said, Tom Parker, like you guys are whatever, however he said it, he could have said something in a whole different way, but no, he was trying to be a, a dick. And so a dick, well, there you go. We'll find another channel to go and do that too. Because again, we're not here to get distracted by these idiots.
I don't post much, but the last 2 or 3 times I've had to post was to defend somebody that I completely disagreed with because he was being attacked because people were taking what he said wrong. And 100% I didn't think this person was right or anything, but you can't gang up on somebody if you're wrong about why you're doing it and expect them to just be quiet and go away. So you've got to extend that out to everybody, whether you agree with them or you don't agree with them. The only way to get the information out here so people can hear it is to have them on in a civil manner and let them speak their justice.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yvonne, I'm not going to get into that part today. Yes, I can show you. I just can't think of the guy's name. He was in a Facebook group. I don't know. He's kind of like a nerd guy. I just remember, I just remember that. Somebody knows his mouth. All that. Okay. You know what happens?
We'll make sure to credit him if you find the picture, though.
Jenny, yeah. I have his name somewhere. Jenny knows this from the other night. When I am sick, don't piss me off. Because you know when you're sick and you're hot and you're tired and you're this and you're that, and then somebody says that, it's like being on monthly, but I don't get monthly. So it's the same thing. When I'm sick, it's like, oh, some people want to test my patience. Okay, let's go. Because it's not about insulting, and stuff like that. And some days I just, put up with it less than other days. Other days, well, no, I don't really put up with people that are just here to talk trash. Really, no, go away. I don't care. Unsubscribe for that if you want that type of stuff. Yes, exactly, Kristen. So yeah, as for Yvonne, I'll show that on another night. And just another thing out there. I believe Alexa said that she won't be able to do it this Friday for the.
No, that stinks.
I know the analysis of Kagan Klein's letter. I know that a lot of people are probably looking forward to that. So anyways, she said possibly on Sunday, but she'll let us know. So I don't know what we're going to, I told Adam he's going to have to find like some celebrity like Oprah or something like that for Friday. Sorry, Lewis, you didn't kind of meet the bar on that one for Friday. No, I'm just teasing. Anyway, exactly. The right people won't get insulted. Go about your business again. Sorry. I'm going to unzip it now. I'm just going to.
So I guess another thing that people don't consider is most cell phones, you can turn off your location services. So now if you turn that off, it only requires the triangulation effects, and now you've lost that GPS coordinate. So there's ways to make things appear differently than they really are, depending on what the motive of the person was or how they normally. I mean, some people are just that way. They keep location off because they don't want to be tracked by the government. So there's that possibility that people were just, I don't keep that service on. And now you're in town with 2 towers at night. That would make it really hard to figure anything out for location.
Yeah.
And then, so you've got all these little things at play. I mean, there's a thing called, I wrote this down to make sure I had it right, centroid of a triangle triangulation. And what they do is they take a triangle and they draw straight lines from all 3 points. And that circle that's in the middle, that would give you the best idea of how they can actually triangulate a phone that's not giving GPS coordinates or not being pinged. If you go off the analog service and they're working off of strength like sonar. So now you've got only 2 points, not 3, because there's only the 2 towers. So that could throw things off completely. So until you find out information, there's no real way to track that. And that's if somebody doesn't want to block what they're doing. Or they turn off triangulation on their phone, and now you've got no idea really where they are. It just goes off records.
Deb's, sorry, this is hi to Deb quickly. She's in the house. Deb, can you make sure to hit the like on this video if you just could, you guys? And Deb included. Hey, Deb, I'm on my way home from soccer. Oh, shit, make room for Deb. No, just kidding. Wait, Deb, did your son's team win? Yeah, okay, go on there.
So now the other thing to look at is what they call small cell power amplifiers. And everyone that has cell service back then, when they were actually going through those growing stages and everything was transitioning from, you sort of had an area from 2006 to 2018 where they started bringing in and phasing out 2G, LTV, 3G, 4G advanced. It was like a short period of time where everybody started coming out with new technologies, and as one came out, the other one would sort of fall off. But people kept their phones. It was cheaper back then to have a phone before that, but when it started getting expensive, people didn't get rid of their phones as quickly. So you'd have a phone that was 2 years old or 3 years old that was on a completely different way of communicating than the other. So the cell companies had to make these phones work well in areas where the towers just weren't picking up the phone signal strong anymore. Like when they started putting 4G out, they didn't fix the 2G tower equipment. When it failed, that tower just failed, and they let it. I went through this with a 4G tower with Sprint, and it was a year of nightmare. And then that's how I know they finally admitted to me that if you look at the towers putting information out as pie slices, if one of those pie slices is not sending out, you might be in a complete dead spot but the tower picks up your information. It just doesn't send it back. So they came up with these devices that they would give the person who complained enough that they plug in their house and as an amplifier. Some of them worked off cell signal, but most worked off of your like your cable at the house. So now all of a sudden you're not on a cell service anymore. You're being streamed over broadband. So there's so many different ways of doing stuff, and not knowing the proper way to address a warrant to trace that. It's like that needle in a haystack. If you don't ask the exact right question on what to look at, no one's going to know who needs to give you the information and if the information is going to be correct or not.
Double Rainbow says, question, does it matter? Is iPhone easier to trace than an Android?
I don't think whether one's easier to trace than the other, but trying to get the information from Apple would be harder than getting it from the other carriers and from the other manufacturers. At that point in time, they were pretty closed tight on what they would give out. So once again, unless you're just searching for normal phone records or text message records, they're not keeping a record of anything that you're streaming. That comes down to having the information from the device or the browser, and we already know if you're using a browser like Klein was, that was Safari, correct? I know there's others that have private mode, but I think the one that's in the affidavit that he deleted off of there was Safari. Yeah. When you're running in Safari, you actually have a private mode, and depending on if you use it properly, it keeps most information off of the phone. So that could be a reason why they don't have a lot of the information needed from that one device. And maybe that's where they went in forensically and found out little tidbits and tried putting the pieces of the puzzle together. But without knowing what was deleted off that phone, same thing. They don't know what to actually look for dates and times and what was sent and what wasn't sent.
Right.
You know, let's say they didn't stream it. Let's say everything was done on a hard drive or device or video equipment, and then it was uploaded 3 hours later. Did the warrant specifically say 3 hours later look for any kind of communication in this area when you've got 10,000 people that live within so many miles? That's not something they're going to even attempt to look for, let alone know to look for. I think the term for the things that they came out was what was it? Femtocells, and the ones that were wireless came out a little bit after this, but I know the ones before that, they did have some portable devices, and a lot of the cars that had Wi-Fi built in also had outlets to plug in, like a house outlet. So you could take one of those amplified antenna receivers, plug it into that little out in your car, and turn that on, and then your cell phone would be amplified by that, and then you could actually use the signal through the car's Wi-Fi to send it. And it just depends on how tricky the person wanted to be. There's so many different ways. It's not just your generic one or two ways to do it. Like Sprint, they called it a magic box in the beginning, and then the one that came out later was called a Pebble, I believe. The Pebble came out after this, so that's why I didn't really bring up info on that. But the Pebble was a wireless one that didn't have any connections to your internet at home or to your cable at home. You could actually take that with you.
1 second. Just quickly, Kristen. So up until I just seen that, I totally forgot about that. This is what you call sometimes, forgetful. So Deb can be my brain. So thank you, Kristen, for updating us on that. Thank you. Totally forgot. Okay. So just a couple questions here that, so someone said, can a phone be traced or tracked in the water? I guess
what was the question?
Just says, can a phone be tracked in water?
No, unless it's a water. I mean, you can't say no, but 99% of all people that have phones, if their phone was in the water, would not be traced. Do they make waterproof phones and waterproof cases? Yeah. But then it comes down to how long is the battery life. And most phones are not going to be able to go more than 12 to 24 hours without being dead. So by the time you were searching for the phone, it would probably not be active anymore.
Okay. And then someone says, is Microsoft easier to trace than a Mac?
Is Microsoft easier to trace than Mac?
Yeah.
Well, the problem with that is most phones are not Microsoft. They're Android. Microsoft and Android are completely different platforms. That you don't see too much Microsoft Windows-based phones because they can get glitchy and crash a lot easier. Android's a lot safer platform, and they can upgrade easier. And that's why I like that Safari platform. That is one of the browsers that you would download onto an Android phone in order to use Apple products or Apple apps. That's why they make some of those things, which being that was on an iPhone, it would be normal for a client to have that. But if it was on an Android phone, I would say it was more intentionally installed. Unless you had a real need to have it for some apps or software back then, you would not put Safari onto an Android phone unless you were trying to use some of the features it had or to use an Apple product.
Okay, and let's see. I just have to go quickly do something here in my email. So
Sure.
Just keep going on, or
okay.
Not sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, good. Well, let me just go back to this question, because somebody put it up.
Yeah, sure.
What is your opinion on so many different POIs yet no arrests made? Do you believe on the right path or no? You know what? I mean, obviously I have my opinion. Everyone has their opinions. What's your opinion there? You guys start with you there, Lou.
Sure. Well, I said this the first time I was on your show. I've got multiple POIs with multiple scenarios because all I try to do is rule things out. And that's what I would hope law enforcement was doing. And it seems like in the beginning, maybe they weren't doing it this way. But a lot of law enforcement that I'm familiar with say that it should be. You don't. I mean, if you're watching TV and you'll see where they put up on the board different pictures and they draw lines and connect this to that. That's really what should happen with every POI that's brought up until they can actually say for sure this person's not responsible. And then even at that point, you still need to keep them in the back of your head. So by having multiple POIs is the smart way to do it. By having one or two POIs and actually focusing just on that and having blinders to everything else is the way to have a case not get solved.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Adam, go ahead.
I mean, I don't, I've never publicly said a POI. So, I think I haven't. I do think the clients are involved some way. And so I think that it's taken them a long time, but I do think that law enforcement is on the right path to whatever degree. I'm not certain, but I definitely do think the clients are involved. So I'm just hoping that justice is served for those girls.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna my thing on this is that nobody really realized about anything. Like I myself was questioning, like, what's taking so long? Like, come on. And then of course the Klein stuff came out in 2021, December 6th, and all that stuff came into it. And then you realized when they use the words complex and all these different things. So although it's been very frustrating because of the little information, to me, it's understandable why it's taking so long, especially if they still need to connect the dots. When Doug Carter said that there was something that they probably overlooked at the beginning and stuff like that, tells you right there that was like, give us time. We need time. Now, as for, I'm just going to say my input on this because I meant to say it near the start of the show. So, that whole thing that was circulating, Adam, the one that, I'm talking about, and Lou probably as well now, the one that was talking about that the red Jeep, KK and his dad are responsible, that whole thing. To me, that is absolutely the biggest crock of shit that I have personally read. Now, whether KK absolutely messaged this person and said that, okay, doesn't matter to me. It would be the biggest crock of shit that I've literally heard being said and spread, because I would just think that any common sense would say that is false, that anyone that does their homework with Delphi will know that would be inaccurate. But again, so to me, I know it's been discussed. I deem it as the biggest crock of crap that I've read. Adam, I said that to you right when I seen it. And then, of course, I said, if there's any truth to any of this, well, no, I didn't even believe there was truth to it. But maybe, because first of all, I'd have to show me the text personally from KK then, with him actually saying this. So let me put it this way, to me, if that thing ever came to fruition, it would still be the biggest crock of shit, but it would tell me that there is a reason for that happening. Whether that is that there is a threat on their lives if they talk, and that they have to basically shut up or get killed themselves, or taken out, or their family. That's why I think that a lot of people are so scared, is because of the lives that are threatened. Because when you deal in a dirty world and you deal with these people that are around drugs and meth and money and stuff like that. So that's why, to me, I would be so disappointed if something like that was ever said, that that's what happened, because I know it would be a crock of shit. But
well, like I said, it is Keegan Kline, so you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Right. Absolutely.
Do I believe he said it? Yeah, because I believe the people that said they've seen it.
I believe that Keegan Kline, right, is an absolute liar. I think that he'll say whatever he wants to whoever he wants to get what he wants. He's, sitting his ass in jail. He'll sit there and try to play your heart, play your fiddles, as if the other person's stupid and stuff like that. And there are some very stupid people out there, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
That would absolutely fall into him saying that, and him saying it and going, this is what happened. I don't know. I just feel like that Murphy's put that out there, I know. Because the person, whatever, apparently, and this is just rumor, but I heard that the person sent it to Murder Sheets, and then they, talked about it, and they distinctly said that, hey, take this,
I've not listened to that Murder Sheet, and I heard it independently of that, from someone before the Murder Sheet episode came out. So did you?
Before it came out, but they might have had that information from way before we
from the same person. But I think that we heard it from the same person that
but yeah, probably. So to me, at the end of the day, like I said, you want to put those texts online, then share them with the world. But it was just so asinine to me to even read it. I was just laughing, to be honest, at it, because it was such a crock of crap. But I just know that at the end of the day, things will transpire the way they're meant to transpire, whether they're right or they're wrong. Things will transpire the way they're meant to happen. And that part I'll have to accept regardless. So if that's
Frank.
Hey Frank. Anyways, best analogy of Keegan I've seen. Keegan would lie about what he had for breakfast. Right. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, that was the one question I wanted, because that person had asked that. Go on. I'm gonna email Kristen now, Bjorka.
Yeah, there's so many possibilities. Everything is just speculation, because there's not enough that's known. I mean, you could consider it too. Maybe he's involved because he was catfished by a catfisher. Maybe somebody felt they needed to have some justice done to him, and this was all a complex way of getting somebody else in trouble for it. There's so many possibilities you can throw out there. The thing is, prove it wrong first, and then we'll be okay with taking it off the table.
Good night, Wendy.
Good night, Wendy. Louis.
That thought has crossed my mind, Lou, as well. Yeah. Someone asked earlier, Lou, if you are an engineer.
No.
Okay.
No, I just like cell phones.
Okay.
I like technology. And
Jetta there on the screen says, Lewis, did you grow up working in a computer shop or go to school to obtain your knowledge of phones and operating systems?
No.
Okay.
All self-taught. I do the same thing I do with the other stuff. I look for the information needed, and then I try to find a good corroborating source for the info. And then I'll look for at least 2 more separate documents that back that up, and I try to go for things that are published or actually from engineering books, things like that. And then if I can't find at least 3 things that come up with the same description of how something functions and works, I won't use it. But I figure with at least one published article and at least two smaller things to back it up, that's enough for me to go forward and say this is the way it works. Because I said that I think I've got it on my phone. Let me take a look, because this is a good read for somebody. And there's actually a video that came out after it, because it's actually touted as being one of the best reads out there. And I think I've got it saved on here. It's from Pursuit Magazine. And if somebody wanted to go on to Pursuit Magazine, there was an article, and I forget, I think it was back in 2008 or 2006. But a lot of people reference that because it goes into detail explaining the differences between cell technology and how phones can be pinged and tracked, and what the differences are between GPS-enabled phones, non-GPS phones, and analog phones. And there's a person that came out, I believe it was in 14 or 15, with a video as an upgrade to that, because so many people referenced that Pursuit Magazine article.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, people are interested and they want to get a good read and understand how ping works and what the differences are. Just Google Pursuit Magazine phone tracking, and that should,
Pursuit Magazine phone tracking.
Yeah. Pursuit Magazine is one of those, in the know magazine, like in your field. There's magazines that come out where people that are in that field talk about things and discuss it.
Right.
And that's a police-oriented magazine that's out there.
This kind of ties into that. Nicole is asking, if your location is turned off for safety reasons, can law enforcement still track your phone, say if you were kidnapped or you went missing?
It can be overridden through 911, and I believe now they've got the technology to actually turn that on, as long as it's just turned off in the phone with normal settings. But if somebody's actually gone and disabled that from the phone, then it will not work.
Right. That was my understanding as well.
Yeah. There's so much technology that has a way of turning itself off for the end user that doesn't shut it off completely.
Yeah, I didn't realize that phones now ping even if the battery's dead.
Yeah, there's ways to have things going. I mean, just like those little discs that you use to do location with Apple products. I mean, that store, all you need is a capacitor in the board on the phone to store enough power to actually have that turn on. And if the phone battery is completely dead, that's still going to function. That's why they say when you take things apart, if you have no idea what you're doing, even if they're unplugged, don't touch things, because capacitors can store enough energy to kill you. Like older microwaves were a big thing, because even unplugged, you could touch the wrong thing, and that capacitor's got so much energy saved in it, it could kill you. Yeah. No plug needed.
Good thing I've not taken apart old microwaves.
Yeah. Were there any other questions that came up?
This one right here that's in front. Can you read that one there, Adam?
Yeah. Team, what do you think about it not being over drugs, but the CP group accidentally sent into that would dime them out, so they had to be silenced, hence the boot of the phone. What are you thinking of that?
I think they mean of the reboot of the phone, and that's why they did that, because
hence the reboot of the phone.
Yeah, you think about it this way: if this is being run, I mean, I don't think that Kagan Klein came up with the largest collection of this material in the state's history ever. If something was put together, if stuff was put together that way, I would think that there had to be something else behind that, giving direction or asking for it. And then you might have a situation where there's somebody that he reports to or sends stuff to that, oops, you made a mistake. What did you do? You gave my email to this person. And then, of course, things would be probably handled in a situation like that.
My bad. So sorry. I was, oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say it's very possible, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be about revenge at the end of the day. It's been a very likely plausible thing to look at because of people involved, but it could very much be about that, what you just said there, that some knowledge to get her phone wiped off, all that stuff. Person had to go. They needed to protect themselves from this knowledge being leaked out there. That could very well be, I've been willing more to bend as I keep learning more to that stuff, because everything at the first point showed me that it made sense. But once more stuff has been coming and evolving, I tend more to lean a little bit more to possibly that side of it, just because it still has a very likely possibility to that, like a very likely possibility.
Well, and another point with that too is it doesn't even have to be a larger distance away. You've got local groups that could have been involved in something like that would feel the need to do that. I mean, and that would still not, I actually would connect more the likelihood of them with other POIs in the area. And that would actually not disrupt your idea on what happened. I mean, we've talked about that. Yeah, we've talked about it.
Yvonne, have a good night. And again, we're so sorry about your mother.
Yeah, Sonny, you and I have talked about our possible hypothesis about who might be in charge if something like that was happening. And I mean, it could just be a simple thing where they crossed paths in court like so many other things crossed paths with him. And
yeah, absolutely. I think
and
that,
no,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, maybe that's why they say so many times that this is such a complicated case. Maybe there are just so many people that tie in. Maybe it's not that they can't figure out what's going on. Maybe there's just too many people to go through to figure out who they could actually blame without it being shot down in court, because there's so many other people involved. Or maybe they know who's involved and their alibi is stronger than people that are just associated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. I think you're referring to Fouts on this one.
Yeah. Or at least what he was involved in. I mean, that brings you right back to young girls.
Well, I think at the end all to be all, everything goes back to money, like regardless, like money, drugs, whatever. I always believe that the bottom line is someone's preventing somebody, or paying somebody to shut up, because it at the end of the day just all becomes about money. No matter if it's about drugs, it's money, right? It's all about.
You and I have looked into that aspect of this quite a bit, and you do have to say his actions became extremely brazen after the Delphi incident happened. So that could be a life-changing thing that all of a sudden you know that at some point or another the hammer might come down. So let's go a little bit further out and actually start meeting people I don't know. Let's go online and meet people that could possibly hurt me like they did, instead of just the people from his court that he stalked and followed and groomed.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, go ahead, Adam.
No, I would say, because I mean, prior to that, the majority of the girls that we know that you contacted were pretty much within a 25-mile radius.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, that implies there was an intent to meet them.
Yeah. I wasn't referring to Klein. I was referring
I know you were.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, but you're right there. Yeah, I think his every intent was to meet people, and if his objective was because he was being told he'd make money by bringing them in, there is an actual suggested thing going on in town there that was requesting young girls.
Right.
So there was a need for that as an action, and then maybe it just didn't work out as planned, or maybe once again he was careless and set the wrong person's info to her.
Good night, Kristen. Double Rainbow had said, I turn off my phone location to keep me safe from online predators, but I want law enforcement to know my location if I need finding, ? I'm confused.
It's safer to leave your location on, so there's an easier response time to find out where you are and not relying on you being able to call 911, because the amount of people that are trying to track you by your phone are nowhere near the people that are just trying to track you out in public.
Okay. Thank you. I hope that answered your question, Double Rainbow. Who just said, I want to take apart an old microwave now. Sonny, are you there?
Yeah,
the medicine kicked in.
I'm just emailing because my iPad crashed, so I thought I would use it on my computer. I'm just emailing Kristen before I forget, so that my brain doesn't melt 2 times. So that's all I was doing. But there's a question.
Can you quickly, excuse me, throw that picture up that I had you put together for me earlier?
Yeah, absolutely. Not.
While you're doing what you're doing, I can talk about that for a few minutes, and then that way people have an idea what I was referring to.
Yeah, sure. One moment. And back over to here. And this one?
Yeah. I said not really having to do with Delphi directly or not, but in 2011, Audi came out with the first Wi-Fi in your vehicle to where you can use your car as a hotspot. And then all these vehicle manufacturers and vehicle models that are listed were all equipped in 2016.
Sonny.
What?
My face was like right up at the screen, and you put it back.
Okay, here.
There you go. But yeah, I said that just gives you. This is, I think, the 2016 list of which cars had available in-car Wi-Fi at the time. So if you owned any of these vehicles, the car could be optioned from the factory with the ability to have a higher output cell phone and the ability to connect your device and stream wirelessly, and at pretty high speeds in 16. So it wasn't like you were downgrading it. Actually, they were touted as being much stronger signal than your cell phone. And that was mainly because the amount of watts you're allowed, because you're not holding the device to your ear. So you've got between 2 and 3 watts of power with a huge antenna on a completely higher than cell phone level antenna on the roof. And when you compare the amount of power from less than 1 watt to 3 watts, you're 5, 6, 7 times the amount of power to put that signal out. So that just gives you a little rundown there. Now, they also offered outside services where you could have put in actually any vehicle, and that would be from a different manufacturer. But these were ones you could actually just buy right off the showroom floor and hook your iPad up or your tablet and automatically do a streaming session.
This back up here. Go this way. So someone said, Mandy Ray said, about it would explain the transfer of dollars from Anthony Shots to Libby would also provide motive. Well, correct. That would, here, I'll go this. That would actually tie in line with getting her to shut up, So, when I just think that's really fishy that on February 13th, Ashley Garth was supposed to have her court date on, for her ticket, whatever, on the 16th. And Judge Fouts, it's like he created an alibi. And there's a lot of weirdness that goes along with that from that moment from the mistress as well. Like, do you know what I mean? There's just a lot of weirdness with him. Well, for the fact that he's totally weird, okay? Totally disgusting, to be honest with you. Judge Fouts, you should be ashamed of yourself, mister. How dare you teach ethics? How do they even allow that crap to happen, though? I'm sorry. I'm just feeling someone up on a couch. I'm still married. He's literally said a bunch of, he offered to pay her $5,000. Yeah. To go distract the mistress's guy that she was with. And I'm sorry. Just, could you just step down, Mr. Fouts? I mean, we're just going to use that video because we don't think that you're a great judge.
What I don't understand is how do you not lose your law license for doing something as unethical as that? And I don't even mean with him being called out for meeting her and going to her house and doing. I'm talking about the young girl that he groomed in his chambers and his law office, and then as she got older, started dating. That is completely unethical. That should have completely taken his life away, his license away.
And the thing about that is that when I spoke to her, and she saw him as this nice older guy, right?
Yeah.
This nice older guy, because just like anyone, she wouldn't know, no different than that story with that Mark Powell guy that's out right now. You're with a 14-year-old, you're 44, douche. Meaning better. So where do you think that a 14-year-old is capable of even understanding that of a 44-year-old in a sense? And so where would an 11-year-old, all she's thinking is nice guy,
Yeah.
but hindsight says differently. And he pursued her beyond beliefs. He even showed up hiding behind the bushes, like he was stalking her. But how is Carroll County, how is that okay? That's a shame on you, Carroll County.
Well, but see, that's not even a county thing. That should be the state bar. How did the state not step in and say that these actions are reprehensible and you can't defend anybody because of what you've done? You're in a position now to have the same type of people in front of you as your clients, and that should not be.
Yeah, it's a total hypocritical double standard. It's absolute bullshit. How come, if they would have investigated, I'm sure Fouts, I mean, honestly, his little judge ass would probably be sitting behind bars right now with Greeno and everybody else.
If he was a school teacher and he did less than what he did here, he would be kicked out from the board and not allowed to be around kids.
Right.
So how does that allow you to keep your
I just recently came across all those screenshots the other day again. I hadn't seen them in forever, and it was just appalling to read through them again.
Yeah,
like the conversations between him and her and about her.
And Tiara even said, so there's another judge that happened a couple of years prior to Judge Fouts, who got busted himself, and he absolutely totally admitted to exactly the same shit that Fouts was doing. That he was basically, some of the court cases, and Tiara has even said this herself, that other girls came forward to say that he was offering up for sex and stuff like that, for a lighter sentence, of course, just like the same judge did that a couple years prior. That's in the newspaper clippings. And she said that girls came forward, there's about 7 of them that came forward to say the same thing was happening. So disgusting pig. Shouldn't even be a lawyer. Shouldn't be teaching no ethics, that's for sure.
Right.
And it's just
disgusting.
Larry
Nassar.
Eh?
I said, look at Larry Nassar. I mean,
yeah.
Sonny,
I've got to turn my cam off for about 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
Sure, absolutely. And you're right, they could absolutely be building a case against him. Let's just hope and pray that. See, that still wouldn't shock. I don't think there's much that would shock me. Right? There is really almost nothing myself that would shock me. So I don't know if that, because, when Adam, I'm going to ask you this, and you guys, when Doug Carter said that was near the beginning, and then things have transpired and changed. So, they obviously had the wrong BG picture for a long time. So I don't even put much weight on those words, to be honest with you.
On what words?
Because on the words of people will be shocked,
Okay.
I don't believe even if Judge Fouts was arrested, I'm not going to be shocked. Dude, you've left a clear line and been called out for it. But I mean, it's just that those words to me don't have as much weight, because that would mean that they would have had to have known a lot more about the case, and maybe they did, and but they had the wrong BG. Who knows? Right. But no, because they overlook.
Anyone capable of doing these things to those girls is shocking, in my opinion. I mean, we won't be because we look into it all the time, but the act of what they did is shocking in itself.
Now, one thing to consider is this. Let's say that Fouts is involved. We're not going to, it's speculation here. And they know that, but they could not connect him to Klein. And all this time, Klein's been saying, but look, this is what I was told to do. I was facing charges. If I didn't listen, he said I was going to be arrested. And they know that, and they want to get the right person put away. So now maybe that search is for whatever device that he got rid of that can prove that he was told to do this by somebody else. I mean, there's so many different possibilities, but that could be why it's a complicated situation and they've not figured it out yet.
And we know that Klein has dealt with all the Paladinos, that he's dealt with KD, that he's dealt with Garret Kirts, Anthony Greenos of the world. Like, meaning his name would attach pretty much to everyone. And I get it that he's a judge, but I'm just saying, yeah, you know?
Right.
Well, and then it also comes back to that, you know, if you really go wider with that net, was he possibly somebody that could be blackmailed into doing this because they had evidence of him with someone else, and now you've got people in a higher court that could say, well, you know, look, all I've got to do is take what this guy has on you, these pictures, and you're going away for a long time. So let's squash this debt. I need you to go grab these two girls or get them there for me. And maybe he's not even responsible for being there. Maybe he just set it up and he was threatened to do that. And he's smart enough to not turn state's evidence.
So what do you think then? And chat as well. There's 250 in chat. If you guys could hit that like, that would be great. Thank you very much. And share if you could as well. Thank you. So in chat, I'm curious. So one, if you think that the girl's murder was live streamed, or two, if you just think that it was like a snuff film more so that was made, or three, if you don't think any of it really, just for that part about the thing. Lewis, Lewis and Adam, do you guys believe, and Deb too over there, do you think that the murders were shown on live stream and that's why it was staged to look like an act? That's why he had BG has a mask, that it was all the portrayal of an act and live streamed and, you know, like playing the part, or no? Because don't forget, this isn't a certain time frame. Now, if cameras are still rolling though, right? Because these are for the sick, twisted people out of the world, you know, like there are. We already know that. We just have to say the word fouts and stuff like that, and we know. And there's more than that. There's mayors, lawyers, prosecutors, all these other people involved. Okay, but what do you think? Do you think that this was actually live streamed? Hence Yubo, the yellow app, and all the different. Or do you? What's your answer? Actually, simple as that. Lewis?
I have no idea.
Oh, I guess he went away.
Adam,
I'm
here. I actually hit the mic button with my finger and I didn't realize I was muted.
Okay.
Well, is it a possibility? Yes. Were people live streaming everything in the world back then? Yes. So I'd have to say that you can't rule it out. Does it push it past the 50% mark in my head? No, because
right.
I think that if they did that, you might have seen something now, because I don't think it would be on that high of a level to not have it made public. Or, you know, was it destroyed? You know, was it destroyed because, oops, this wasn't supposed to happen. It was supposed to be something different. I do think that, it's possible that the crime was going to be live streamed.
Okay. And Adam, your thoughts on that?
I agree with Lewis. I think that, you know, it's possible. I think that there's a high likelihood, though, that if it had happened, that it would have gotten out by now. Because I think as high of a price as that video probably would have had at the time, I think it would have just as high of a price now to not get out. I can't see the temptation of people in that world not releasing it.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, so a lot of people were saying 2, some people were saying 3, and very few thinking 1. So my thing is this, is it possible it was live streamed? Yes. Hence the cameras. Was it a misdirection to make it seem that way? But the thing is, the only thing that would make me think more of 2 is because of the fact that that Garret Kirts said that Sheena Cottrell and that Nick Edwards and about Tamsin, and that Tamsin would know more about it. And then Sheena, according to Nick Edwards, right, about Sheena came to the apartment and talked about, you know, the deaths and whatever. but knowing that Garret Kirts talked about a murder tape. So, and then we realized that the BG has a camera on and that there's cameras at the crime scene. So I think that 2 is the most likely, could be 1, but 2 is, to me, sounds very likely, even if it's for personal self-gratification. But I have to stop and think about the masks too that were there. And the mask underneath the BG's chin, like as if it was a role play. So I don't know if they did that in front of the camera. So when they were found, that they would look at this camera and they would see this act going on and it was a misdirect that way. There's a few things to think about, to be honest with it. But, and that's the whole point. We don't know. We won't know the real answer until arrests are made and we see some clearer answers. But those are definitely thoughts based on the information that's out there and what we see.
I think what you need to consider, and that's because you prefaced that question as live streaming. It doesn't have to have been live streamed. It could have just been something that was videotaped, which then brings the likelihood up higher that it was done as opposed to just being live streamed.
Right.
So that I would lean more likely towards yes, it was videotaped, and less likely towards it was live streamed. Because if it was live streamed, I think it would have been out there and it would be going to more than one person.
Right. Callie said, in her opinion, not good internet out there to live stream. And that's I've heard that it all at that time it all had to do with the service provider. So, but again,
hey, I'm going incognito. So, do you think it was good enough to live stream if based on your thoughts there, Lewis, or no?
I mean, we've seen people live stream now.
I think the
walks out there.
I think the likelihood of it staying quiet this long means it was not live streamed, but it was probably recorded.
Mm-hmm.
If it was live streamed, I think that it would have been sent out to more than one person. And here's the breakdown. If it was being done by somebody like Klein and he was live streaming for bragging rights or live streaming to share it, it would be out there and it would not be protected and everybody would know by now. If it was something that was organized and it specifically had to be live streamed to one person so that they could see something was done in order for payment to be made, then I could see that happening.
Ooh,
but I think that would be more likely.
That's likely.
That's the more likely reason for a live stream. If that was not the reason for a live stream, I think that the reason for doing it would be to videotape it or record it, not to stream it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good, thank you for saying that because, yeah, you're right. Maybe the person that's got the bigger bucks and not. Now, I have a couple questions that I'm thinking here of. Yeah. One, in chat, and this is for more like the chat and you guys too, but does anyone here think that Anthony Greeno is involved with the Delphi murders? 1 for yes, 2 for no. That's my first question.
Were you bored there, Sonny? You just decided to stir the pot for a minute?
Yep. No. I mean, it's because I'm thinking about something. Yeah. I guess, you know me. I'm not shy of stirring a pot. My witch's brew. Okay. So remember, 1 for yes, 2 for no. To me, this is like a flip-floppy thing. I think it's like a 50-50 thing, to be honest with you. Adam, yes or no? You think?
I have no idea.
No idea? Okay, that's a 3. What about you, Lewis? Any idea?
I would need the question changed just a little bit.
Okay, change it to however you want to hear it.
I would change the question to not whether he was involved directly, but more so, does he know what happened? And I would say yes. He's in the know of something, and if it would involve him, he would be the one misdirecting everybody with his videos and what he's been doing.
Okay.
So yeah, if he had any involvement or knowledge at all, I would say that's why he's been doing what he's been doing. But I think It's more likely he knew as opposed to he was involved.
Right. Did he have court today?
I'm not sure. Did he? Was it today? I don't know. I can't keep up with all the Greenos and the Joneses.
I'm trying to remember the dates from the court documents I read on Friday.
The problem is it's Indiana, so it probably changed 10 times already.
Yeah. Okay. And my next question is going to be, we know that Julian Powell, and I was trying to look for a connection to that guy in the Mark Powell. I'm not saying that there's not, but I just didn't see one.
I couldn't find one either.
Yeah, I didn't see a correlation, but that doesn't mean it's not true. But who knows? But my thing is this, is that I deem perhaps, because it just seems too odd to me, that Julian Powell knows the Kleins, et cetera, guys, knows all those people, and that he's on the bridge February 12th with his 360 Google camera. I think of it as a trial run, that they were prepping for the next day, that he has some involvement perhaps. Does anyone out, like, I never really thought about that originally because I was just too busy going, you're a liar, when it was on Sluice. And I just thought, oh, guy seeking attention, inserting himself. I mean, but regardless, does anyone, one or two again, you get one for yes, that Julian Powell had anything to do with Delphi. And with Julian Powell, I'm not even going to use the word knowledge that he had anything to do with it, because my question would be that he was on the bridge on February 12th to prepare to make sure that things worked for the next day.
Oh yeah, he had his injunction today for protection.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, Kelly, can you remind me what Gonzo said that day? I remember he said something, but I don't remember exactly what he said. So one, I just think, you guys just don't find it odd that there's all these cameras and Mr. Julian Powell happens to be on the bridge the day before with a Google 360 and, type of thing. And, just innocently, it just seems on the highly sus side for sure. What did Mandy Ray say there? Or there was an individual who paid to commit murder vicariously through a proxy, slash physical killer, paying the physical killer to follow his command and not staying behind a VPN. Possible. I think it's still more likely that it's a fellow Indiana person. That would sat on a bench.
It's very hard to rule out the person not being local to have all these pieces fall into place the way they are there. And most people that are viewers that have just seen videos and read stuff, if you've not been out there physically and seen it, to know how to get through those woods and to go the right direction and not the wrong direction without any previous information, you would have been lost, hurt, or injured. It would be like gambling and hitting the lotto 3 times in a row.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Right. And that's, and in all honesty, again, right, it's just taking things that make sense. And maybe some of them fall out of making sense along the line, and a lot more stick. I've always...
The easy way to break this down is, if you want to see it the way I see it, is, can somebody walk the bridge that way without any issues? First time out, trial run? Probably. Likelihood, no, but probably yes. So that has to be okay. You got to rule that out as why he's from here. To then know how to go down at that south end of the bridge, which is not an easy thing to get to or even a way to know, that's another one. To know the south side without being able to come through the private drive and look at it that way, because you've already seen what happens when people come through that private drive. They get blocked off or held. I mean, that's... So the ability to have actually searched in advance, I can't see that happening unless you knew the area. And then to cross the water in the right spot, and then to make it through the woods and to know Ron's pride. There's too many variables that you would have to hit dead on to do this in a trial run and not have anything go wrong.
Absolutely.
I could see one, 2, or 3, but there's there's 9 or 10 things that had to all happen properly to get away from doing this. And I can't see one person that didn't know the area hitting 9 or 10 perfect dead on, scenarios.
It,
Sonny, you're
we're losing you, Sonny.
Sonny, you're lagging really bad. We can't hear you at all. Yeah, it was like Robot Sonny.
I think she blended away.
I know. Do you want to continue with your thought, Lewis?
I just sure. I mean, breaking it down, if somebody could give me the percentages of hitting all those different things and not having an issue and making it in and out without really being seen or getting heard or leaving much to be desired, to be found afterwards. I just can't see that happening unless you knew what was going on and you planned it. I can't see this just being a happenstance. What do you think?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that's very I think that's a really I lost my words. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Astute observation.
When you listen to people bring it up and they bring up the 1 or 2 things and they say, see, anybody could do it because I did it, or I then in the back of my head always run through the entire scenario and the short time frame. And it's like, okay, you might have hit 1 or 2, but then no one ever discusses everything that happened or took place. And that's because most people have not been out there, so they don't know what they had to deal with.
Right.
Did we ever get a tally on the votes? I think the question was about Julian Powell being involved.
I'm honestly not sure.
I'm trying to see if I can go through here and see. I've got a 1, a 3, a 2, a 2, 2 more 1s, 1, a 3, a 2. It looks like the 1s win.
Okay.
I didn't count how many, but I'm finding 2 or 3 1s for every 2 I find. Now, do we remember what the options were for 1, 2, and 3?
I do not, because Sonny did that, so I don't.
Yeah, she did it pretty fast, and then she had to disappear. Well, I'll give you my gut call on that. Oh, she messaged me. She lost internet.
Ah.
Yeah, her internet dropped, so I don't know if she's trying to get back on.
Yeah, I'm sure she is.
I'll ask her.
At least we know how to get rid of her now.
We'll see if she messages me. I'm going to do this in a different way. After all the talking I've been doing about phones, I'll let you guys know what I do here. I use. Is she back on? Cool.
Yeah, internet dropped.
Yeah, that's. I let them know you messaged me that. So.
Yeah, because even my husband was like, "Yeah, mine dropped too." But
we did a tally, and it looks like the 1s prevailed. I just don't know what option 1 was.
For what? About
with your question about Julian Powell, I went through the chat. It looks like the 1s prevailed. I just don't remember what you said was 1.
Well, 1 was if you felt that he was on the bridge for a purpose in preparation for the next day.
Gotcha. But it looks like everyone feels that way. I mentioned that earlier. I think that if Klein was catfished because of his catfishing, that would be the person to do that, and that would give you the one scenario where this was nothing to do with anyone else that's thought of, and it was just a person that has different thoughts than most people and felt he needed to avenge the people that were being catfished, and then the ones that showed up were victims too.
Right. Hey, Chaotic.
Chaotic.
Because I do have to say, if this thing played out the way a lot of the rumors are, and with the way it went smoothly, and you've got the clients that were maybe not involved with anything other than talking to kids online, then I could see a scenario where, you get somebody with a little bit of a twisted mind and brain chemistry that's not on level where it should be, and they build a story in their head and they take vengeance out in the way they think it needs to be taken out. And
yeah, sorry, looking at an email.
No, you're fine. I know you're busy trying to get back on with everything.
Well, I'm trying to look at this email, but the pictures aren't uploading. Or they're
probably
not.
because you left the internet. It's going to take a bit
On there. So thank you to the person that sent me the email. Yeah, and I might have to look at those the next time. We'll see. They're not loading the pictures up.
Somebody in the chat mentioned about JP being into computers.
Yes.
He did. He had a computer business in Peru, not very far from the client's home in 17, in along with his night job at Subaru.
Okay.
So his business during the day was working on computers and networking. And that's why I've always questioned what that thing was in the report when they went through his computer, when they seized client's computer from the house. They asked about the thing plugged into the front. And like I mentioned before, that really sounded like a Wi-Fi dongle to me, not a memory stick. If it was a memory stick, they would have pulled stuff off of it. So I think that was a way of getting into his Wi-Fi from outside the house.
Steve, when you're over near any sort of bridge or 5 floors, can you videotape that for us? I feel like I want to see that. And thank you, Candace West, for that contribution. I should do that. That's what I should do. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, hi. Hello, guys. Who needs men? We don't need men. Forget it. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, fine. We need men. You guys like that close up? Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to type something and my fingers don't want to work for me. That's normal. Okay. Yeah, I want to see. I truly want to see Steve do this. It's a fair test, Steve. I don't know where you're going on about it. I think it's a fair test. Seems like an everyday occurrence. I mean, I walked the Great Walls of China back in the day. Scaled all the mountains, walked on water. I think that's the least you can do for us, to be honest.
What was his comment in reference to?
He was just saying something about where did his comment go, actually? Oh, there it is. I don't know if fair test. SWAT training, we did backflips out windows 5 floors up on loose repelling lines.
Yeah, and but what was that comment in reference to? Was there something before that brought that up?
Look, I was trying to pretend like I knew what he was talking about, but I just enjoyed
maybe he's listening to the wrong chat.
He's going to walk the bridge.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. He's going to go walk the bridge. He's going to rappel. He's going to pretend it's like it's 5 floors, do a few backflips down. Can you just imagine that?
Does he think he's Greeno?
Does
he think he's Greeno? Is he going to climb down in the thing and
climb down and he's going to pop his head back up and be like, I'm the man. Right.
Of course, Greeno was standing on his tiptoes when he was trying to look up above the bridge.
I just feel like
because he's like 3 foot tall.
I know, right? I just feel like Greeno's credentials are a little bit superior to Steve's, to be honest with you. I mean, if you look at all his background and his, extensive resume there, bounty hunter.
One does have a longer record than the other.
Yeah,
I didn't know if that comment was in reference to what we were talking about while you were gone, Sonny.
Oh, someone says, where did Sonny go? This is like, hello, did I go away?
You did. You're back.
Yeah. Oh, 5 minutes now. That's why I'm like, huh? Nicole, you know what her problem is? She probably left, came back, and was like, what the hell? I'm 5 minutes behind. Yeah. Something like that.
Steve's going to walk the bridge. He's trying he's going to try it walking the first time.
Hey, you just make sure that Mrs. Steve captures every angle. I want her to have like one of those trapeze camera units on, like the 360.
I just want her to make sure the life insurance policy is up to date before he goes on.
And that too. Yeah. Ooh, Kate, can you just promise me that you're going to have some rappel string with you as you like do it? Yeah. Are you going to do this live? Trying Bridge first time walking.
Is he taking Deb with him? Is he taking Deb out there with him?
Hi, Rainbow Pop. Right. Deb, you gonna meet up with him? And I just feel like this is what's gonna happen. Greeno did the bridge in about 3 minutes or something like that, close to 3 minutes, something like that.
It helps when you're on Spice.
Yeah. So I just think that Steve, what happened here? He said he's not gonna do it live. He's gonna clip it, edit it, splice it, put it in fast motion. And he's going to have the all-time record for the fastest walker ever.
I disagree. I think he's going to use a green screen in the backdrop and put up Greeno's video.
Falling would be a once-in-a-lifetime content.
Yeah. Falling would be a once-in-a-lifetime content. Yeah. You know what, Steve? I'm going to say this. I don't want you to do it, dude. Seriously, don't.
Are you worried about him? You don't want him to do it?
That's correct. Yeah.
You love him?
I love you, Steve. I don't want you to hurt yourself. It's not worth it. Now, if you want to send in, somebody else, I don't know, like Deb, something like that.
Oh, no.
No, not Deb. Boo, Sonny, you're so
No, I wouldn't go on the bridge with Deb. She pushed me off.
Offer up. See, I can't do it because I would just bounce. I would just I would just like a whale. Whoosh. Okay, there goes the creek, everyone. Sorry, it's all dried up now. That's what I'm not a heights person. I'm just gonna say, the Mr. and Mrs. Adams show. I can't laugh.
Yeah. Nicole, if you missed the JP poll, I think the consensus in the chat was that I think he was on the bridge for a purpose the day before, in preparation for the next day.
It really does seem very plausible, does it not? I mean, honestly.
Right. I'll walk the bridge.
Are you gonna walk the bridge?
I will. I would.
I'll walk a plank as long as there's water underneath me too. The plank.
You've got to
go all the way there and not walk it.
You've got to use the 50% rule. If it's more than 51% possible, and it's coincidental, you have to rule it in and not rule it out. Everything's a possibility unless it's less than 50% or you got proof that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I think it would be really, really emotional to go out there. Sorry, I'm still thinking about Steve going to the bridge.
I know. I do too. I do too.
I think I would be overwhelmed a little bit, but I think I would walk it.
Well, I still I wanna go back. So because I want to Adam can still think about the bridge, and Steve, I think Adam. All right. Mrs. Steve, are you going to allow for such things?
I think Mrs. Steve's in bed.
Yeah, right. Mrs. Steve, get up. Get your butt out of bed. Yeah, your husband's causing trouble in here. But that's not the picture I wanted to put up. I want your guys's opinion on this again about the kitty cat. Because I was busy behind this, that I wasn't seeing what was in chat. Do you guys? I just take this as catfishing, meaning the reason for that cat staring at Elle. Anybody else?
There's always my thought: catfish the catfisher.
Mm-hmm.
And why not leave a calling card to get your point across? There's only some people out there that leave weird calling cards that only make sense if you know what they mean.
Yeah. Now, I know that there's an actual object here too, but I can't make it out. It reminds me of like a nutcracker, to be honest with you. At first I thought it was some sort of jaggedy knife that was like here, like, right? Because it is a metal shiny thing. But then when I looked at it from a different view, it reminds me of like a tool, like some sort of tool. But I can't make it out good enough to even remotely show it. So I'm not going to until I can actually show a better light on it. I'm pretty sure it's not pareidolia. But because like when it shines and gives off a glimmer, whereas something over here, for instance, right, this could have a deceptionness to it. It could be something, might not be. Just because again, pixelation can start making certain things look like certain things. But I'm pretty sure that I'm witnessing a cat in front of my face here. Whoops. Oh no, I accidentally tried opening up RuneScape. I hate it when I click the wrong button. Yeah.
That old gaming thing?
Yeah, okay. RuneScape. And I accidentally sometimes hit the wrong button. I open it up, close off.
And there's no taking it back. You have to wait till it does what it's doing.
I know. Kagan Klein played that game. Disgusting. Ew. I know. That's where he can role play, right? What does a child, pornography pedo like, right? He would love games like that. He's got its action game. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, Carol was just coming in a little bit ago, and she was asking who is this from and what is this supposed to be? So she missed the earlier when you were showing the pictures.
Okay. So Carol, so what it was I went back myself and I wanted to, instead of using Delphi Confidential or Hop Yards, video of the footage, I wanted to do it myself to see what I could come up with, in a sense. But again, it's the same crime scene, but yet you can have a little bit different capture of the, picture perhaps. So anyways, as I decided that I wanted to understand the area more, like the bunny rabbit and the knives that are there. Well, then I came across what I deem as a cat that's staring at the victim, L. And, that's the knife that's would be in the victim's throat and this cat. And so let me just go back into here. So I'll go here. So this is basically if I do a little bit of a close-up of this cat. So you can, to me, here's a little tail, but it's missing this part, obviously, because, you're not going to capture everything, right? Meaning some of it's going to be blacked out, but I'm pretty sure that this is not pareidolia, that I'm pretty sure I would get a cat image with stuff out of it. But like, so for instance, I see like a collar, and on that collar, there's like a trinket, right? Like a little trinket thing. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, non-secular, whatever the reasons, this was a whole staged crime scene, right? Bunny rabbit, cameras, regardless. So this to me is a kitty cat that's staring at victim that's there. This to me is, I'm pretty sure if I was a betting person, I would say 90% that this would probably be that same emblem, because I've looked at the cheeks of it and how the cheeks come out versus that. So going back to this is pretty much what I'm seeing, is something that looks like this. And then of course it would have the chain but just one that obviously has been turned, like however they bought it, I don't know. So when I go back to there, and then again, the chain here, chain around this face, almost like a gag chain. That's what it reminds me of. Like it reminds me of, like if you were doing a porn or something like that, and you put on. Yeah.
Never done one of those, Sonny.
I'm talking about when I've watched one before, and you think
like it's a weekly thing, right?
This is back. I have not watched porn in so long, people. I have no idea. But back in the day, when you did, perhaps, and maybe you didn't.
Thank goodness Deb's not here.
All I can think out is when Fouts says to the mistress that he wants to buy a house and he wants to make a dungeon. and that, and he could be, she could be his master type of thing. And I remember, okay, TMI guys, TMI here, but I think that this reminds me of this guy that I met on this Plenty of Fish site back like 4 years ago, or no, I've been married 7. It couldn't have been that long, people. I mean, it was way longer. Sorry, husband. Obviously, I don't know why, but I was thinking it's only been 3 or 4 years since I've left Alberta. But anyways, so it was about, I would say about a year prior to my husband coming out here and meeting my husband. And this guy, this farmer, okay, this farmer dude, he starts talking about some really twisted shit. And all I'm picturing is this guy that goes out on his farm fields, you know, da-da-da-da-da. And the way he has me visualizing what he's talking about, I'm picturing this dungeon with chains and whips, and you're tied, and you're got some Sabian horse, and you got all this weird shit. Not me. It might be my twin, but it's not me. Okay. And so I'm just like, oh, dude, you're a little bit too much for me. And that's how the mistress felt about Fouts. It was like, I know, you're welcome for that story. If you want to support this channel, please feel free to donate to a certain channel. But anyway, no, so it just reminded me of, like I said, Fouts. It's like, here, like he's twisted. He's twisted. So yeah, I'm thinking of, you know, like a submissive type of meaning perhaps behind this.
A ball gag?
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. So, I mean, staying on course here.
Hey, good night. Good night. Peace.
Oh, peace, yeah. Yeah. So, but just like this camera that's in front of you, right? And I know, like right here, you guys, I can tell that what, you know what this is right here? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to assume that this is here. This right here is a phone facing the other way or something. It looks like to me. Like, you know how this camera is facing this way? Well, this looks like a phone perhaps facing the other way, because this here looks like, you know, that little clip that you put a phone into? Because I can tell by looking at this that there's a squareness about this. So I'm going to deem this myself right now that this is a clip that you put the phone into that I literally just looked at the other day. Oh, where's that picture, people? Anyways, talk with yourselves for a sec. I got a picture to look for. But do you see what I'm talking about, Lewis? Anybody? This is the bladed knife, one of the other ones. This is the bunny rabbit about the neck. But let me, where's that picture? You guys go ahead, talk. Are you guys all caught off guard now by my couple-minute conversation there?
Nope.
That's why
I'm just letting you find your thing.
I'm finding my thing.
I'm getting tired.
Yeah, I know. Oh crap, Lewis. It says low dicks. Oh.
What are you making over there?
I gotta stop myself. Don't make me laugh. Nothing. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think we're the ones making you laugh.
1 sec. Okay. Well, I went to go say disk space, and of course it didn't come out right.
You have a fever there, Sonny?
Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm the only one on camera here, too.
Here, I'll join you.
Yeah. Okay, but isn't that so, you know?
Do you have a low disk space?
Yeah, thank you. I know, but it's so funny how sometimes something else comes out because you're talking about something else, and then just, you know, trying to be all innocent here, but nope, can't. Yeah, I'm just as. Okay.
Don't worry, Steve. We're almost at intermission.
Yeah, I gotta mute myself for a sec. You guys, carry on, Steve. Go ahead, Steve. Switch this conversation around. before your wife wakes up,
Not to run over everything all, but what we brought up the other night, they did find that woman earlier in the week. So from that last live, what we brought up looking for the missing young lady, she was found.
She was. Is she safe?
No, it was just to refresh what I found out from different postings was Wednesday, the mom was able to track her phone to a motel in Hammond.
Okay.
And the police didn't seem like they were too interested in what was going on, but then that was sort of rebutted later on. So I don't want to say that's for sure, but obviously nobody acted on it because her car was there with 2 other people Wednesday night. And then Thursday morning, the 2 people that were there were seen leaving in her car with her phone and stuff. And she wasn't with them. The end of last week, I don't know, they haven't released what day it was, but there was a woman found in an abandoned house that was burned later in the week. So it corresponds with that Thursday, Friday type thing.
Right.
So it could have been Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, but by the time the police got involved and went to the motel, they got the pictures of who the people were that were there. She was not with them. But it had a very unhappy ending.
Oh, I'm so sorry. And what was her name again?
Deborah Leslie.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you there.
Oh, no, you're fine. And so, because I remember when you told us the story originally, I think it was Tuesday was the last day that she'd been confirmed being seen, and that her car was seen Wednesday at the motel.
Yeah. And
that's so sad, though. I totally forgot to even follow up on that with you.
Oh yeah. Normally things don't progress that fast. I mean, that's
right. And what town was this in again? Do you mind if I ask?
She lived in Crown Point. She was from Griffith, Indiana, which is where her family, I still think they live there. And then she was seen in Hammond, Indiana, which is just a little bit further past Griffith.
Okay.
And I guess the body was found in Gary, Indiana, in an abandoned house. Yeah.
That's so sad.
Yeah. And it had to be, foul play from the beginning, because you don't dump somebody in a building and then burn. I mean, I don't even want to get into the details of what they said, but you don't do that unless you try and destroy evidence. It wasn't just we did something wrong and dropped her off. So
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and it's the people that have such a strong history of looking out for other people. I went through some of the things, and the mom belongs to, that drive-in club that I go through. And the daughter had run different fundraisers for some halfway houses and some treatment centers and for the church and all that. And she was highly involved with the church. Her Facebook page was all filled with scripture. And then you've got somebody that has such a good heart, and they wind up probably being too open to the wrong person. But I wanted to bring it up because I didn't want people to listen to the last live still wanting to look and try to get information and all that. It's no longer necessary, but it did not. Yeah.
I feel horrible that I didn't follow up on that. I'm usually really good about that, and I feel a little out of it all week, to be honest.
Well, that it's sort of the same thing that happened with me. That next day, I didn't really follow up on it all, and then I was talking to Sunny the other night, and I brought up to her that that I looked the other day, and this is the newest update. So as I'm talking to her, I went and I did another search, and like an hour or two before I looked is when they put up what happened. So it was a very short window, but
yeah.
What it was is they found the body before they knew it was her.
Right.
And they once the detective got involved, I guess they put 2 and 2 together, and they requested the dental records, and that's how they confirmed it.
Where am I? Okay, hold on. Where am I? Hello. Hold on. Oh, I thought I was on mute when I was doing that. Yeah. Okay, guys. Okay. My iPad still keeps crashing. Oh, it's pissing me off. So I'm just gonna go to the internet for, even though I'm not seeing the same picture, because the other one I had was just perfectly clear. It was basically like a little camera like this. Let me just go back to the webpage here. This one here. So this is what I'm basically talking about. Something that was like this. That here, well, I'll go back to it. But anyways, like a camera that looks like this, basically. Doesn't mean it's the exact same one. It's either like this, perhaps, or maybe like this. But that when I look at that picture, like this is what I see is like a stand that's holding the phone. So if I go, oh, I'm going to find you guys again. Oops, my bad. There we go. So if I stop screen and share again and go back over to, oops, that's not what I want. I want to go here. And then I want to come back.
While you're doing that, I've got a goofy question for both of you.
Sure.
What if 100 years from now somebody found your phone or your computer and went through your camera roll? What would they think?
God,
They'd think that I was stalking some. Oh God, I don't know. They'd be like, "What kind of crap? What kind of murder crap is she into?
Exactly.
Did she murder somebody?"
I would love to see them try to piece together what I look at by what's on my camera roll.
I mean, okay, granted. I was gonna say, like, okay, let me just ask you, Adam, and you guys in chat too. That's just a fun question in a sense. If someone, and just put your answer in chat as well, viewers. If someone wants to go through your camera roll right now, what would they see mostly? Like, definitely, I would say 90% Delphi, maybe a couple percent of some selfies and family pics, and a couple of booby pictures from my husband.
I've got no booby pictures. I would say mine's like 90% Delphi. Probably 5% thumbnails.
Oh my God! Right. Oh my God! Yeah.
And then
thumbnail isn't thumbnail pictures or thumbnails.
Yeah, thumbnail. Yeah, like when we do like the little thumbnails for
I knew what you meant, but I want to make sure everyone else knew what you meant.
Because I'll do like a different color border like 9 times, and, like save it.
Yeah.
To see which one I like the best.
Whichever one's aesthetically drawn to.
Right. And then Sunny will be like, nope, not that one.
Yeah. she'll go with the first one that you made, right?
Yeah. Or she's like, Adam, could you just change everything? I'm just kidding.
Hey, Steve, you know what pisses me off? I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to turn my camera on as I say it, too. You know what pisses me off, Steve? I'm going to tell you. Well, the 35 mil files, they would think, oh, my God.
Isn't there a movie based on that?
Right.
35 mil?
I think that was 80. Was that 35 millimeter or 85 millimeter?
No, there's one based on 35. I'm not talking about the newer one.
Yeah. What I was going to say is, so just prior to digital coming out, digital cameras, I have what sits in my closet is $1,500 back 15 years ago, whenever digital came out. A $1,500 camera, freaking big ass zoom lens. So trust me, if I lived in Indiana and you guys wanted Wabash footage, I'd be sitting there with that freaking sucker, and I could probably see their butt cracks. To be honest, I'm not kidding.
Her 8 megapixel.
Yeah. But it's so depressing knowing that I have this beautiful camera that nobody even uses anymore, because when digital came out, amazing, right?
I know. I have those little SD cards. I have tons of those that I've just never done anything with, you know.
Just listen to Deb. Please get the thumbs up, friends. Please get. That's her little hick talk coming in there. Please get
the thumbs up, friends.
Yeah, please get your thumbs up, friends.
That's her Hoosier talk.
Yeah, that's her Hoosier. I almost put some jujitsu on some guy one day who approached me on sidewalk asking me where place was when he was standing right in front of you. No. That sounds like a Steve thing that he would do, to be honest with you. 35 mil was what the courts allowed before digital. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if anyone does want to break their piggy banks open, $1.99. $1.99, and one can dine for $1.99 at the It's a Crime and Shame channel.
Right.
It can give you access to our private. Well, it will give you access to our private Facebook group if you do want to join it. I mean, I hate to be called money justice for nothing, obviously. Oh wait, there you go, Lilith. That was for you. Better clip that stock on that one. But let's see here. I will drop the link. Because I realize that's probably an overcharge of the $1.99 compared to most channels that it is. Okay. But if anyone does want to, I will actually find the link to it. You know what? Do I even have a OBS? Oh, I'm still really excited about all OBS doing that. You can invite people now. I'm really looking forward to that because with OBS, once I use it a bit more. Yeah. Oh, keeping Adam up there. Yeah. Then you guys can when you guys do donate, then you guys can physically, instead of hearing like the little siren sound go off, you guys can actually see the little emoji that truly happens in my OBS background when it goes off. But anyways, there's the link. Yeah, I know. I like that. See, I like those little appreciation things that they have, right? Because if somebody subscribes, for instance, I like how Streamlabs is saying, thank you, subscriber. And then it puts their name out. So it's not like a big secret coming in, guys. Sorry about that. Because it just says, instead of somebody secretly coming in going, I hate Sunny. Well, obviously, if the subscriber's name is I hate Sunny, it's going to say, thank you for subscribing, because we all know that this channel really just does subs only. And the reason for that is try to keep the trash out. But the trash always will make it in here regardless of that. But you know what? That just shows you that they just can't stay away as well. So anyways, I like how Streamlabs does call out and calls out thank you for the donations as well and stuff like that. Oh, here's a question.
Did Doug Carter say in an interview sometime that he was getting calls from Russia and other countries about either watching the girls be murdered or something like that? Or is this rumor?
I never heard that.
I've never heard that.
I heard that he got emails and that from across the world for emails about the girls. That would be true.
But I didn't hear about the content.
Yeah, nothing about content, just about people giving in tips. That's what I've only ever heard for that, to be honest. Robert doesn't know you're broke at the ATM.
True.
Yeah. Let's see. Was there anything else up there? TikTok. Is there an app for that? Yes, there is. Ask Deb. What's the app for that? You
just have to go to let's see, what county would you want to do in Indiana?
Yeah.
The Facebook group.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, double rainbows, but those are just from the trolls that again.
I'm going to Miami County Facebook group.
We've been called a lot of things, but people usually attach it to me since it's my channel. So they'll usually, it doesn't matter what it is, right, Adam? It's usually Sunny is involved, even though I had nothing to do with that live that you guys did. It was all about Sunny, right? Remember, what is it? I think it was Graz, wasn't it? That you stood up for me for? Because he involved my name, and yet I had nothing to do with that live whatsoever.
Oh, and yeah. Stuff like
that. Again, it's just, people wanting to attach me to whatever. And so be it. If that's what they want to do, so be it. But I just find it so comical that they're literally watching right now. So thank you from my lips to your butt. Thank you for joining us tonight. Mm-hmm.
Something I don't think it's ever said or people don't know about, and it's because we communicate quite a bit. I don't think you ever stop.
I know.
And I don't think people know that.
Well, we do. I do sleep now and again, right? Right. We all sleep, right, Adam? Now and
Very,
again.
very, very rare. But I mean, on Delphi, you don't stop. You've got a goal, and you're constantly going. And people don't see that. They see the 3 or 4 hour live here and there, but they don't see the other 20 hours in the day where you spend 15 of them back and forth, looking up things, talking to people. Yeah. No one sees that. They don't appreciate it.
No.
You know, out of sight, out of mind.
Right. I know. Because, you know, I mean, it's just all like a miracle. I just twinkle my nose and it just all happens itself. Yeah. Right, Adam? We just sit on our tufts and hope that some information will, you know, fall our way and stuff like that.
That's pretty much all I've done this week.
Or, you know, but, you know, just to give I'm going to give somebody a shout out, but not that I'm not going to mention their name or anything like that. So the person that I was talking to from last night till 7 a.m. in the morning, I want to say to you, thank you so much for answering me back and discussing things. I'm not going to say who it is, and you'll probably never know who it is, but it was a very important conversation. And I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you. And thanks so much. I appreciate other people too. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate all our followers. I just like to nominate Adam for being the beauty queen this month. Deb for her constant, you know, updates and the digging that she does. True Crime Web for his sarcasm. Lewis for your what?
Right? Sarcastic?
No.
I didn't mean to cut you off when you were about to compliment Steve. Or you forgot to compliment Lou.
For Lou. But you know what? Thank you, you guys, for so much for the emails that you do send. I'm sorry if I don't see them all. I simply don't. And Lou and Famously Unfamous. Okay, you guys. And we're gonna do this, Deb, and you're listening. We are gonna have, or we're gonna create like a wacky Wednesday or something, or what did you call it, Lou? Funky Friday.
Oh, I don't remember. I forget now what we said.
Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna have a wacky Wednesday. So this was one of the most whack things that I saw. Not one of the most, trust me. Actually, it was nominal compared to some of them. But every now and again, someone puts a comment on a board. And so we need to have a good little laugh a lot is what we need to do. And the person put this, and this made me laugh so hard. Are you allowed to use this footage or something like that? It was something about the Famously Unfamous.
Yeah.
And he asked me, and I even left the comment up, to be honest with you. You know what? I wonder if I can find it now that I think about it. I'm pretty sure I've just left the comment up to show him how stupid he sounded.
You know, I did come up with a better segment name for you.
Oh, what was it?
Wall of Shame.
Lull of Shame. Oh, well, I do have it. My little trademark is LOL Entertainment.
Yeah, but Wall of Shame, I think, would be a good one for some of these people.
Oh, Lull of Shame, right? LOL of Shame? That, or do you saying Wall of Shame?
Wall, like you're putting them on a wall. Posting up their Wall of Shame comments.
Okay. One second. I just want to see if I can find that comment, because
it's a crime and shame in your Wall of Shame.
Let me see if okay. Come on. Please still be there. I'm pretty sure I didn't block you, dude. Just because I wanted everyone to see what an idiot. Oh, Gary Chalmers. Here, let me just. Yeah, let's do one right now, just to test things out. I just want to, make sure that we test it out. Stop screen, and let me just go over to this one. Yeah, okay, and here. And then anyways, thank you, Polly, Miss Kitty, Veronica, all these people. Thank you. It's Curtis. But Gary Chalmers.
Oh, well, I should read the comments sometime.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to call you out for being this week's idiot. Okay. Or sorry, I shouldn't say that. That's kind of mean, even though you are. I'm going to say thank you for making it to I'm going to call it lull of shame. LOL of shame.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Lull of shame. So Gary Chalmers says, you asked to use this? he's talking about the video footage from Famously Unfamous. If anyone watches his channel, you guys know that his whole, I absolutely give credit exactly to Famously Famous for everything that he sends. So I said, excuse me, what's it your business? Do you really want me to personally have Famously Unfamous message you? LOL. And then he says, I know it's not your footage. Be nice of you to credit folk. And I said, he goes, just taking it and posting it in description. It's sneaky, but that's how you roll. So I said, I'm sorry you are a moron. I'm sorry you are a moron. I want to know what brain cells you even have left. Do you not see his logo right on the screen? If that's how you roll, and thanks, or if that's how, you roll, and thanks for the laugh. I literally just actually took a screenshot and showed him your stupid messages. I'm just going to leave this up there, though, just so that people can see how stupid people are in this world. But that's how I roll. And then I said, are you lonely and looking for attention? Would you like me to call you out on a live and give you a shout out for being the stupidest person of the week contest? Let me know. Buddy, you didn't have to ask me. I am doing this for you. So Gary Chalmers, this one's for you, dude. So anyone that knows that right across the screen is absolutely, or in this particular case, right in the corner, was his logo. The logo, you know. And so I'm sitting here at the same time that he's messaging, I'm just like screenshotting it saying, you're Famously Unfamous, like look at this guy. So it's stuff like that just honestly, it's like, really, dude, you don't even watch this channel. Get your ass away. Wait, I would like to make an official announcement. Sunny did not. Oh shit sakes, my God. Freaking Stuff is such a needy freaking creator. Where is she? Is she on in this one? Did I take myself off? You guys, if we can just take a moment and congratulate Stuffa on, I'm not really sure, but for becoming just like being a friend of ours, to be honest with you, becoming a great person. She has a great channel that she can drop anytime she wants. She
has one of the biggest hearts, I think, of anyone that I've come across on YouTube.
Biggest hearts, or she does the biggest farts. I'm not still sure on that one yet. Yeah.
She's funny.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I said she's funny.
Let's see here. You sent it to me too. You were fast. Yeah. Anything, the bestest friend, right? Even though I was just looking at your messenger thing today, Stuffa, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I need to message Stuffa soon, but not today because I got too much on my plate today. So, if truth be told, that's what happened there. I was like, shit, because you know how I go down my list, because I'm not that person. So I'm usually not that person that literally messages people all the time and not usually me. And then all of a sudden I look at my list and I'm like, oh shit. It's like you forget about it. And this is where Delphi kicks in. I'm always working on Delphi or something. Yeah. Oh, so she does great hair and makeup. Go on. Anybody else want to be recognized that's not been recognized? You know, I'm so willing to give you guys whoever a shout out. I can just do a group thing and be like, thank you all that are watching right now. Thank you for watching the live. But I feel like this
Bernie a shout out.
Shit. All right, Jenny. Jenny, this is for you. I was a bitch to you the other night, and I absolutely agree I was. I'm apologizing because I when I'm sick, I have very little patience because I just do. I don't always. But yeah, it makes me shorter. When I'm in a rush to do something and I got lots of things going on, yeah, I'm impatient. I was being a little bitch, but back to Jenny. Jenny, I'm sorry and I love you. And she knows I do, because Jenny has always supported the whole, ever since she came across the path and everything like that. She's always been a really great supporter. And I probably don't appreciate her enough for always doing that. And same with Pork Chop, are just two people that have been from, near the beginning of it. I love you guys. I think you're amazing. Well, I think we are too. I mean, that would be, I think, being egotistical. So thank you. We try to love ourselves a little bit more each day, sometimes more than others. Right, Adam? Right, Lewis? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Lewis, do you love yourself today? If not,
what?
Give yourself a hug. Yeah. Yeah.
I love Messi.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve. Right. And you guys, just so you know, I did drop Steve's link in the channel. Oops, nope, that would be my own. Hold on. I'm going to drop that one just because I dropped it. I did do that one before. So I'm going to say this again. Steve never asked me to plug him or anything like that. We just like to because we appreciate good people and stuff and that they know that they can drop their links and everybody that has a mod wrench can. But Steve is going to be going down in his trip in a couple of weeks here. Again, you know, if anyone, when they're at Steve's or and then he has a PayPal link or something like that. Again, it's very costly and expensive to do this stuff. And Steve's channel's growing and we know it will be a success. And we're very much looking forward to the information. And I'm so looking forward to this whole bridge walk thing. I'm so sorry, but that one is going to be up on my number one thing, waiting for that footage. But yeah, it's going to be great. And so if anyone can throw a few dollars his way for some gas or anything like that, you know, I mean, feed the poor, right? It costs a lot of money to do this stuff. So if you guys are on his live and stuff like that, and you have the ability to donate a little bit, or privately, maybe you want to ask him to privately donate, truecrimeweb@gmail.com, you know, and he can give you his PayPal or anything like that, or whatever other Cash App source and something like that. So I'm just plunking it for him. He didn't ask me to. I just know that things cost a lot of money. You know, and a 2-week adventure, or how long is it going to be, Steve? A week adventure? I can't remember now. I think it's a week adventure, isn't it? You know, it costs a lot of money.
That would be a long time.
Yeah, I think it's a week. So, thank you so much, La La Gumshoe. Ooh, that was a tongue twister. La 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 la. Came off the lips like that. La 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 Gumshoe. La 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 la. You're gonna make me want to say la la la. Dab, jealous. Get jealous.
And everyone, and I just dropped the link again for everyone that wants to go vote. Chaotic is in the next round of that the Face of Horror Halloween contest. So you can vote once a day, and I just put the link back up. So you just click on that, and then you vote for Chaotic to be the Face of Horror.
Yeah, I thought.
He's progressed to the next round.
Nice, Chaotic. Congratulations on that. Oh, look at, hey, Stuffa. If you didn't get enough attention, look down. Hello, 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 Stuffa. Hello. Oh, Chaotic. There we go. Nice big bold. Thank you, everyone. So yeah, absolutely. Because Chaotic has her wrench too. She can always drop her thing anytime she comes in and stuff like that. So good luck to you, Chaotic, on that. And again, feel free to drop your channel link and stuff like that. Okay, so it's been it's been 3 hours.
I know. I was like, I'm gonna make it like an hour and a half tonight tops.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're both troopers.
Well, I was going to say, you know, we always talk about stuff and then we kind of just, you know, sometimes just, you know, joke around and talk, you know, keep things a little bit more on the lighthearted side. I mean, Steve started it.
If Deborah here, that'll be a 4-hour live easy.
I know. Yeah.
But we stay more on track when she's not here. So we just kind of.
Isn't that how it usually goes, right?
Yeah, we don't digress as much when Deb's not here.
Right.
She really causes us to get off topic a lot.
Yeah. And so, honestly, I mean, was this a blessing in disguise or what about the soccer game thing? So sorry you're so nuts. You know, so sorry that you're in Chiapas and probably are at home and you're still not on. Thank you. Yeah. It's true. It's true, Adam.
It really is.
Deb always seems to just go off track all the time. And that's just where Steve goes, I digress. It's nothing to do with me whatsoever. It's not even about the attitude. Steve comes here for sheer enjoyment. When he's like wants to let loose, kick back, he's like, I'm going to go over to It's a Crime We Shame channel. Yep.
Can you imagine how much they're going to talk bad about us next month?
Yeah. You know, right.
They're going to be unstoppable after they meet in person.
Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Next thing you know, Deb's going to be like, Sonny,
I gotta go, and she's gonna be on Steve's channel.
I know. You know what? Steve just asked me. You can be my first guest, Deb. You know, Actually, Steve, have you yet to have a guest still on your channel? I don't think you have you? Start forward with stuff on. You see how she said, read that, Adam.
True crime web editing. I love your customer service department. They handle complaints immediately.
Right. I'm just going to put a throwdown in there. Sunny calls it first, True Crime Web. And if you can't, well, then I'm going to have to do a throwdown. I feel like, smackdown. I'm going to use those handcuffs. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to put that kind of pressure on you. It better be me first, however. Just saying. No, Fig. So sorry, dude. Anybody else? Salute, chaotic, Stefan. Know your role, stay in your lane.
We in Songsmith, we've done several like middle of the night streams. I've done a couple.
Yeah, you know what?
Sunny's done some.
I was gonna say, if my husband didn't have to get up early and work, I'd probably be sitting there with you guys all the time, being like, "Hey, let's talk."
Right.
Because don't you guys feel it though? It's just like talking with family and friends. Like, I never get really nervous, not even when a guest comes on, because it's just kind of like to me, like, "Hey, how you doing?"
I got nervous the first time you had Mel on.
Oh yeah, that was the purpose thing because I knew you would. Yeah, that was great though. Little blushy. Like I would say probably. Let's see here, maybe caught facts a little bit where I was just like, he's probably, because I know Cop Facts doesn't like POIs and stuff like that too much. You're talking, and I'm just sitting there. My POI is this. My POI is that. So I was just like, ooh, Cop Facts. He's probably gonna ream my ass out a bit sometimes, right? Right? I just be me, and so I remember a long time ago, you guys thinking, I don't give a shit if you're a shit, like a sewer worker or you're the president. You're no better than anybody else at the end of the day. Do you know? We're all just, as long as you're a good human being in a sense and stuff like that, you're no better than me. You're no better than me. I might be better than you, but you're not better than me. No, just kidding.
Deb's better than us.
Yeah, well,
Deb said Steve and I are going to solve Delphi while he's here. They probably will.
I'm rebranding my channel. I got to figure out that too, actually, the OBS, because once I realized it was hard to bring in people without bringing on, what's it called again? That freaking program, Discord and stuff like that. Because if it was just me doing it, I could easily have used the OBS. But now that they've rebranding their thing too as well, because theirs is a little bit more complicated, but once you get used to it, like anything, then it becomes like a really superior way of doing things. And that way you can have like those donation and widget gadgets and all those different things and, that show up to thank people properly and stuff like that. Notice Sunny didn't say prime minister. Right. Did I say the president? Yeah. Because I'm always watching the American news over our news if I listen to anything. I care more about who your president is than our prime minister. Isn't that pathetic? I mean, honestly, I'm Canadian.
Deb was starstruck with compacts.
Yeah.
Carol said Deb was noticed with drooling.
Well, yeah. Imagine if John Kelly would come on one day. Like if I know he's under contractual stuff going on and that, so
Who?
he can't. John Kelly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So imagine Deb, she probably would have fainted. It would have been, Deb, sorry, can't come through the computer. Wake up. Yeah. But yeah, so but just know he gave us still a shout out. Yeah. So that made Deb's day as well, all ours too, but we all know that we there's certain people, like Cop Facts and Gonzo, and support with stuff. I mean, AWP was a huge one for me.
Right.
One day I'm still gonna have Jared. Yeah. Oh, I know that actually. Jared did reach back out to me, and he said something about. Now that he said that, oh, did I ever email him?
From Chaos Divers.
No, from AWP.
Oh,
Jared.
from AWP. Yeah, I would love to have them on again. They were great. And I'd like to have Gonzo on, because the only time I've ever met Gonzo was the day he was on with AWP.
Yeah,
he wasn't on long.
We'll get Gonzo on for sure. But yeah, so Jared, did I email? I gotta go check and see if I emailed him back, because he was saying sorry that he didn't see an email, and I'm like, did I say something back? I can't remember. He said something about let's touch base back in like beginning of December. So yeah, so hopefully Jared and Doug can, and whoever else, whatever, can join the panel from AWP. I mean, at that time, we should probably have reached our 5 million mark that we've been striving for, I think, for subscribers. Oh, which reminds me too, our subscribers, it's just because it's a personal hurdle. So if you aren't subscribed, maybe consider subscribing. Huh?
Get subscribed.
Yeah, get subscribed. That's it. Get wrecked, get subscribed. That's how I feel. Yeah. Because right now, more subscribers, regardless, it brings more awareness. It brings more views to the videos and more awareness. And that's the whole point. And if anyone wants to take away from that, that's a them problem. But that's the whole point of everything. If again, there's so many other different things going on the internet someone could be doing. I think it's a perfectly great purpose that people want to start their own channels, that want to bring awareness. Like, there's nothing more rewarding than helping out other people. There just simply isn't. Maybe there is to other people. I just think it's one of the most unselfish acts that people can do. So yeah, what do you like?
And selfishly, we're just shy of 5,000, and I would like to hit 5,000 by the end of the month. And
really, the biggest thing is it's free. To like, share, and subscribe doesn't cost a dime.
Yeah, right, exactly. 4,916, guys. That's what we're at right now. So thank you so much for all the new subscribers and helping the channel grow. And so, yeah, just to say that, because again, anyone that watches this channel, hopefully, like I said, with the different people that we bring on, thanks Lou, with Adam and Deb and myself, we try to, keep it lighthearted, but keep it serious and keep it moving along, and just having it feel like it's family without it feeling like it's, like that we're not paying attention, and that you can have a little bit more closer conversations. Obviously, as the channel grows and numbers grow, there'll be more membership videos, because obviously, members kind of need their attention, because that's the whole point why they pay, is because they're becoming a member to get perks out of it, and because they like the channel, and that those perks are to come with it and stuff like that. So if I haven't perked you properly, just don't forget to email me at acrimingshame@gmail.com. Okay, because I don't, honestly, it's a lot. It gets a bit. I need like I need a Lewis in my life. Lewis, go get my social media ready. Go get my I need someone that can control the headaches of that part of it. It's, for me, it's like a lot of work to bounce between videos and social media and this, and figure out OBS and blah 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 blah. It's just, and then read emails and messenger conversations and keep up, and and then sometimes people get probably offended because I'm not answering them back right away, or maybe my computer's open.
Really bad about it.
Yeah, what?
I said I'm really bad about it, messaging people back.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows that.
Well, my thing is this: is that yes, I'm on my iPad a lot, and usually I'll tell people I'm going to sleep or off for the night, in a sense. Usually, what would you say?
Said lies.
Yeah, because it truly is a little bit of a lie. It's what I'm basically saying is, yeah, I'm going to bed, but yeah, I'm going to bed with my iPad so I can not answer messages anymore, and I can just focus on Delphi stuff. So technically,
I can attest to the fact that you'll say, I'm going to bed now, and then 2 hours later, I'll get a message. What do you think of this?
Yeah.
I think you should be in bed sleeping.
I know. I did that to Deb too. Okay, one more thing. So half an hour later, after I said I was going to bed, oh, one more thing. Here you go. Support with Steffa. I want to meet up at the crime scene when you are here. Email me, please. So stop talking true crime with Steve, and Deb's going to be having lunch with Steve and Mrs. Steve, and I think Purdue as well.
We're just giving out all their business. They might not want that public.
No. Did you guys want that public? Oh, my bad. Edit, delete. No, just kidding. No, because you know what? If Steve's willing to tell that he's going on his business, whereas say Gonzo doesn't even like to tell where he's going around, Steve's willingly saying, but we're not telling him what date they're having lunch on. You know, we're going to leave that to the national
or the address. We're not saying the name of the restaurant.
Yeah. You
don't tell us.
Okay. You're an internal thinker. Well, my brain just doesn't shut up, and I really wish it would. I'm sure there are people that are watching right now that wish that this would shut up, but those are the people that shouldn't be in here in the first place. Anyways, Adam or Lewis, was there anything that you wanted more to talk about that we haven't covered? Or, yeah, nope. Well, Adam, he's ready to go to bed. Yeah, are you good? Are you good too?
Oh yeah, I think we're all good. Huh?
Yeah, we're all good. All right. Okay, you guys. Well, let's call it a night. It's been 3 hours and 17 minutes. On, definitely thanks for Deb not coming on tonight, because it definitely would have been about 4 hours again. And Friday, we're not exactly sure what we're doing on Friday. Again, Alexa doesn't feel like she can make it unless it rains, and then they cancel the movie night. She said that they're having for the kids' school. So other than that, we'll see what Friday. We'll see what Adam wants to bring us for Friday, or Deb. Something special, perhaps.
I brought you the content for the handwriting analysis.
Sure, Deb's turn. No.
It's not my fault the handwriting analysis person can't be on.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys, thank you so much. Steve, thank you for of course popping by, and always thank you for your lovely sarcasm. I love you to death. And seeing Mrs. Steve go all sunny on them would be good content. Yes, it would. Anyways, you guys have a great night. Take care. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you guys could share the video and like it, that would be great. All right. Take care, guys.
Have a good night. Thank you, Lou.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There's no outro. I still got to reload a different outro. Take care, guys. Bye. Thanks, Lou.
You're welcome.